And we are ready for some more exciting football action. And I don't know how in the world this team can top what they did last week at Sullivan when the Maroons came from behind in the last seconds of the ball game to win that one. But, Joe, we said that earlier this season after the Olympia ball game and then after the Lono Unity ball game, and I guess they have somehow topped previous performances. Tonight, we hope it doesn't have to be that way as the Maroons host Argenta Oriana. It's homecoming tonight. It is also senior night, parents' night. So we have some pregame announcements going on, the introduction of the senior players, senior cheerleaders, band members, members of the M Squad that are seniors, and their parents out at the center of the field. And it's a big night here at Clinton High School with homecoming and all the other festivities going on.
Yeah, and I don't know how they could cut it any closer because our clock doesn't measure in tenths of seconds either. So that could be a challenge for them. I think it was 1.6 last week.
Yeah, the clock, their clock there in Sullivan has tenths of a second on it, and you're right. The final touchdown of the ball game by the Maroons was scored with 1.6 seconds, as I'm sure everybody's well aware of after hearing the ball game or being there or watching the TV replay from that ball game just a week ago. An exciting finish, and the Maroons getting the two-point conversion, win that one 15-14. And what that game meant to the Maroons last week was they have back to a winning record right now at 4-3, and they're back in the running for a playoff spot. If they had lost that ball game to Sullivan, they would have had 4 losses, and that would have been too many, no chance for the playoffs. But they still have a chance for a playoff spot. They've got to win tonight to keep their hopes alive, and then, of course, win the ball game next week against Eureka also.
And it also stops the 3-game losing skid, and that's always important, too. You get one win behind you, especially against a good team like Sullivan. You can get some momentum build up here, and if you win tonight, homecoming game, you have a good game against Eureka to end the season, and if you win both these, make the playoffs. So it's a pretty good situation for the Maroons.
Let's talk about this Argenta Oriana football team. They come into this ball game with perhaps a deceiving record of no wins, 7 losses on the year. But you talked with Coach Brian Knudsen during the week, and Brian is playing up this Argenta team some. He says they're dangerous. We got to be careful here because they have been improving over the last few weeks.
Yeah, Coach Knudsen said he talked with some other coaches, and he said this Argenta team could as easily be 3-4 as they are 0-7. He said that they're a good team. They just haven't put it all together yet. And he says they're a little worried about how much Argenta passes the ball. As he said, they pass the ball a good variety of the time.
Well, might make it an entertaining ball game then with Argenta putting the ball in the air. And, of course, the Maroons, with their very successful offense that they've had this year, the ability for the Maroons to move the football up and down the field and put points on the board. Now this homecoming crowd has been asked to rise to their feet and down on the football field right at the center of the field. The Clinton High School Marching Maroons are ready to present the playing of our national anthem before they get this game underway tonight. Clinton High School Band with our national anthem. That's, I think, our first opportunity this year to get them on TV with the playing of our national anthem, so we're glad we're able to present that before this homecoming football game. Weather-wise, Joe, tonight we've got some good conditions for football again this week. I think the rain's going to stay away. It's been very cloudy and overcast today, but it's a nice, cool evening, although not that cool. It's going to be comfortable for the fans in the stands, and nice weather for the football players on the field. There's a little bit of a breeze, but I don't think that's going to play a very big factor this week.
Yes, I think the weather the last 2 weeks has been very good for football game, and you know, with these fair conditions, it hasn't rained a lot, so you know, the field should be good, and I think it'll be a good game at least a little while.
Well, I know one thing that the Maroons were very happy, especially head coach Chuck Nagel after last week's ball game, was the fact that their defense played so much better than it had in obviously those previous ball games against the likes of Central Catholic, St. Teresa, and Monticello. And he felt like that was obviously very important for them to be able to step up the defense and hold an opponent down if they're going to have an opportunity to win some ball games the rest of the season and have a chance at the playoffs. They did that last week against Sullivan, but they need to continue to move that direction in tonight's ball game.
Yes, the Maroons are heading into the latter portion of the schedule now, and hopefully trying to get into the playoffs. And you have to have that sustained defensive effort week in and week out if you want to advance. They did that well against Sullivan. When they needed to stop Sullivan, they did. And if they do that against Argenta, they should have a pretty entertaining game for the fans here tonight.
I still don't think there's anything to be concerned about as far as the Maroons' offense, although their offensive output hasn't been as high as far as points scored as it has been in early portion of the season, scoring 15 points last week in some of the other ball games against those better ball clubs like Central Catholic and St. Teresa and so on. This team can still put some points on the board, and they're going to stick pretty much with their same game plan as they've used throughout the season, and I think we'll see them move the ball up and down the field pretty well tonight.
Yeah, the Maroons might have only put up 15 points last week, but they had a very good offensive effort. They just had some turnovers at some bad times and some penalties that killed a little bit and pushed them back farther than they wanted to. And Sullivan has a very good defense. So, I think the offense has done a good job week in and week out of performing and giving the team enough points that they could win.
Quick reminder that the final game of the season will be played at Eureka, and that originally was put on the schedule for a Thursday night, but they've changed the playoff picture now. We don't have the Wednesday night first-round game followed by a few days later a Saturday second-round game, and because of that, they've been able to push that game back one day, and we will play Friday night, 1 week from tonight, at Eureka, the final game of the season, and what should be a very big game for both those ball clubs. Both will be vying for a playoff spot if the Maroons prevail tonight against Argenta Oriana, certainly. And, that game will be Friday night, as we said, at Eureka at 7:30 instead of the originally scheduled Thursday night. Argenta's made their way out into the field, and now the Maroons, greeted by the band, are going to make their way through the banner right in front of us. Here come the Maroons onto the football field, led by Ryan Conley and Jeff Wilson. We'll take a break here and be back with the opening kickoff between the Maroons and the Bombers when we return in just a moment. Near midfield, 1st and 10 for the Clinton Maroons. It's Sands wants to throw. He's looking for Herzog up the right sideline all the way. He's beat his man. He caught it. 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown, Maroons! Split backfield, one wide receiver each way. Quick pop over the middle to Nichols. He'll give it. Oh, and a lateral to Carter. Hook and ladder. Carter's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Maroons! The Maroons really need to score on this play. From the 6, Sands hands it off. Conley trying to get around the corner. He's got the speed. 5, touchdown! TD, baby!
Clinton Maroon football brought to you by the John Warner Bank, Edward D. Jones and Company, Dave's Food Basket, Walker Tire, Allen Chiropractic, Ace Hardware, Subway, Joe Taylor Attorney at Law, Quality Glass, Illinois Power, and the Clinton Daily Journal.
Back here at Clinton High School and about set to get this game underway at another minute or so as the band makes its way off the field. We see the Clinton Maroons right in front of us here on the near side. They'll be dressed in the maroon uniforms with the maroon pants, the maroon jerseys and maroon pants both trimmed in the white and gold. So it's maroon over a maroon look again tonight, as we've had a couple of times this year. And that has proved to be, for the most part, a pretty winning combination for this football team if you're a little superstitious. The Maroons coming off a game that had to give them such a lift last week. The exciting come-from-behind last-second win, and not only the fact that they scored, as we mentioned at the top of this broadcast, with only 1.6 seconds left, but let's put that in proper perspective. That was right after Sullivan had scored with only 41 seconds left in the ball game to take the lead. The Maroons have been leading until only 41 seconds left in the game, and then Sullivan scored what appeared to be the winning touchdown. And still the Maroons came back and pulled the game out, moved the ball 75 yards on a touchdown drive of 3 pass plays to give Sullivan their second straight last-second loss in a row. Just amazing, and obviously a very, very big lift for this football team.
Yeah, as we looked at the crowd after that touchdown for the Maroons, the Sullivan crowd was just stunned. As you said, they had lost their second straight. Watsika beat them the week before on the last play of the game. So, you know, Sullivan had 2 tough losses, but it was a big, important win for the Maroons. And they didn't give up once again, and this was their 3rd game where they did that in the final minute of the game.
Again, that keeps the Maroons in the hunt for a playoff spot. They stand at 4-3 on the season. They cannot afford to lose another ball game if they have hopes of making the playoffs. And if they can finish the season 6-3, it's not an absolute assured thing that they will make the playoffs, but the record of their opponents overall is very good, and the point total that should come from that decides which 6-3 teams will make the playoffs should be high enough to put the Maroons in the playoffs. I would be shocked if that point total is not high enough to put them in the playoffs among the 6-3 teams that would qualify. But we can't say absolutely for sure that 6-3 would do it, but very, very good chance. So it's basically this. They got to win tonight, and they've got to win next Friday night at Eureka. Maroons are going to kick off to start this ball game in just a moment. Carl has the ball teed up at his own 40-yard line as the Maroons will be moving from the north to the south goal. Argenta out there on the football field wearing their traveling uniforms of the orange pants and white jerseys, and the rest of their school color being, of course, the dark blue, so they've got the dark blue helmets out there and the blue numerals on their uniforms. Court's able to kick the ball a good distance, 60 yards many times, so Argenta awaiting the kick. It won't be near that deep, taking it about the 20-yard line, back up to the 25, 30-yard line, along the far sideline, and taken down around the 33-yard line is Argenta's return by Micah Shepard, a sophomore. And that's where Argenta will start, 1st and 10. They'll spot it near the 33 or 34-yard line, 1st and 10.
And Argenta will have good field position to start off the game, but this is important for the Maroons to show that they're going to stop Argenta on the first drive and set a tone for the rest of the night.
We'll see how much Argenta puts the ball in the air. You had mentioned the report that they do like to put the ball in the air, and we'll just see how much they will attempt against the Maroons, who at times their secondary has had a bit of trouble covering things, but we'll wait and see. Out of the I formation, Shepard is the quarterback, young man under center. He turns around. He'll throw it down the sideline, and there is Schumacher to make the pick at midfield. He slips and goes down at his knee, but Schumacher, with that big frame, stepped in front of the intended receiver on that quick pop, and on the very first play of the ball game, the pass intended for Todd Carlson is intercepted by Schumacher, and the Maroons will take the turnover right off the bat.
Well, Argenta just tried to make a quick action play as it was a fly pattern, and the wide receiver went straight down the left sidelines, and Schumacher just made a very good play on the ball and picked it off.
Nate Sams under center. He started on defense. Here he goes from the quarterback spot on offense. Gives to Jeff Wilson. Good strong run up the middle, still on his feet. And he's close to a 10-yard pickup and close to a first down. The original line of scrimmage was the Maroon 48-yard line, and he is very close to the 42-yard line. The officials will look it over, and that's a 10-yard pickup for the first down. So the Maroons quickly, on a 10-yard carry by Jeff Wilson, have a first down, and they're into Argenta territory.
Well, it was a trap up the middle for Jeff Wilson, and that's a play Clinton likes to start their drives on. And if the offensive line does as well all night as they did on that play, it should be a good night.
At the 42 of Argenta on 1st and 10. Sams will give again. Wilson, big hole right-hand side, but then is caught around the ankles and spilled about the 38-yard line. A quick pickup of 4 yards before someone for Argenta grabbed him around the ankles and dropped him. And that will bring up a 2nd down, and looks like it's closer to just a 3-yard pickup. 2nd down and 7 for the Maroons coming up near the 39 of the Bombers.
Well, they put Wilson off tackle on that run, and he got a pretty good gain for the Maroons, and if they establish themselves on the ground, the offense should do well.
Maroons is 2nd and 7 at the 39 of Argenta. Just underway in this ball game after the Maroons took an interception by Ryan Schumacher. And here's Sams on the option to the left, finds a little bit of an opening and gets down close to the 32-yard line. It'll be very close to another Maroon first down as he found a nice little gap. Very close to the 32, and that's enough for another first down. A good 8-yard pickup for Nate Sams in that option left.
It was a good play for the Maroons as he got out there, and that another play the Maroons like to utilize on their first drives to test out what the offensive line can do against the opponent's defensive line. And the Maroons are picking up pretty good hunks of yardage here on their first drive.
Schumacher, Igems go wide to the right side. Wilson, Conley in the backfield. Wilson up the middle, has an opening, gets it down inside the 30, down to about the 26-yard line before he's hit down low and tackled by Todd Carlson, a junior, 5'9", 138 pounds. Some of their defensive backs aren't real big, but a good strong tackle on Wilson that time. The Maroons down to the 26-yard line, and we have an official's timeout on the field for a moment. I think we have an equipment problem with one of the Argenta players. So 2nd and about 5 coming up.
They ran another trap up the middle with Wilson there, and they picked up big yardage once again. 5 yards, 5 yards a carry on the game is going to get it done for the Clinton Maroons offense. And let's see if they just keep it on the ground here and get to the end zone.
Officials hold them up for just a second as they break huddle. Maroons want to score early in this ball game. We played just over 2 minutes. No score so far, but Clinton moving the football. And again, it's Wilson trying the right-hand side and running hard and got about 4 more down close to the 23-yard line. I think he'll be about a yard short of a first down, but we'll wait for the officials to spot it in the middle of the field. And he is about a yard short. 3rd down and 1 now for the Maroons coming up. They're down at the 23-yard line of Argenta.
And this drive is very encouraging, as on each play you can see that the offensive line is getting a good pull off the line against the Argenta defensive line.
Ingems joins Connolly and Wilson in the backfield. They'll give it to Connolly. Quick opening up the middle. He's in to clear. Down to the 10, 5, and touchdown. He popped it through the hole quickly, and before Argenta knew it, he was into the secondary and raced past everybody. First time Ryan Connolly has touched the football in this ball game, and he breaks it 23 yards up the middle for the touchdown, and the Maroons lead 6-0.
Well, they ran a trap. This time it was Connolly up the middle, and after he got past the line of scrimmage, he broke one arm tackle by the linebacker. I think it was Salmary for Argenta, and then he was gone after that arm tackle.
Maroons take the quick 6-0 lead on Connolly's run. Now here's Carl Courts on for the extra point attempt. And he has been deadly throughout this year on these. Good snap, placement down by Sams. The boot on the way, has plenty of distance, and it is good. Timeout on the field with 9:11 to go in the first quarter of play. The Maroons have struck quickly after an interception near midfield by Ryan Schumacher. The Maroons turn it into a score on a 52-yard drive and a 23-yard touchdown run by Ryan Connolly. 7-0 Maroons. Back with the kickoff in a moment.
The Warm Neighbors Fund pays heating bills for people in need. It also weatherizes homes, which helps reduce future heating bills. Warm Neighbors is administered by the Energy Assistance Foundation, a nonprofit organization formed in 1982 with a $250,000 donation from Illinois Power. Last year alone, your contributions and major funding from Illinois Power provided warmth for over 2,000 families.
Maroons with the 7-0 lead. Here's the kickoff by Carl Courts. Low end over end kick that will drift down to about the 14-yard line. They will get a run back. It looks like Todd Carlson this time trying the far side of the field. Stays on his feet as he gets across the 30 up to about the 33-yard line or so. And now Argenta again for the second time in this ball game will try it on offense. They tried to pass on first down last time, and Schumacher was there for the pick. We'll see what they want to do this time with the football.
Well, they do put the ball up in the air a great deal of time, and one thing you do when you do that is you live and die by the pass, and that time Schumacher picked it off, and it'll be interesting to see if they get discouraged from the pass or they keep going with it.
Nate Shepard comes wide to the right side. He's joined by another man. Looks like David Woodhall wide to the right side. Another man wide to the left side, I formation in the backfield. Spinning, and they'll try the handoff. And boy, the Maroons were all over that one as they tried to get to the fullback. And a loss on the play, it would appear, of about a yard. David Lemmel was in there. Jeff Wilson came up to plug the hole, and they had a difficult time, it looked like, trying to get the exchange off between quarterback and running back that time and lost a yard.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was a bad handoff on that play. And once they did get the handoff, the Maroons just plugged up the middle and stopped the running back for a loss.
Now they've got 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side and another to the left-hand side on 2nd and 11, 4 wide receivers for Argenta. Gee, I wonder if they'll throw. No, they'll give it off up the middle. Maroons a little late making the tackle. Lemmel hanging on from behind, trying to pull down the ball carrier. And they got a few yards on the play. Andy Moore, who's a sophomore. A lot of young ball players on this Argenta team. He's 5'10", 181. Kept his feet going hard and got about 4 or 5 yards on the play. They'll have 3rd down and about 7 coming up for the first down as they're now at their own 37-yard line.
And they just had to run a trap up the middle there. A little deceiving as it looked like they might pass the ball, but they hand it off to Moore. And now they'll have a 3rd and long.
Certainly out of a passing formation that time. Now they'll send a man in motion from left to right. Long call. And they'll try the pass under some pressure out here at the right sideline. Off the hands and dropped by the receiver. And that pass was right on the money to David Woodhall. But Woodhall dropped the football. He would have had the first down and probably could have cut up the field for some more yardage out here about the 45-yard line. But it bounced off his hands, and he just put his hands up in disgust that he didn't catch the football. 4th down coming up for Argenta, and it appears they'll have to punt the football.
Yeah, that pass was right there. Woodhall just, I think, took his eyes off the ball because he didn't see a defender and tried to make a move upfield before he caught the ball, and he just dropped it.
Nate Shepard will punt the football. Gets a good kick away that will carry down to about the 34-yard line. Caught on the run by Schumacher, looking toward the center field. Fakes a man, breaks an ankle tackle, caught up with, and finally knocked down as he gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. And the Maroons will have pretty good field position for their second offensive series here in this ball game. We're down to 7:15 to go in the first quarter of play. 7-0 Clinton here in the homecoming game tonight against Argenta.
And Schumacher showed good patience on that return as he was kind of tiptoeing, and he made 3 or 4 tacklers miss there, and he broke it up the middle and got a few more yards than maybe he would have gained.
Jamie Queer and Shane Van Fossen, the wide receivers to the left-hand side. The Maroons keep it on the ground, though. Conley looking for a little opening up the middle, keeping his feet moving. Gets it to the 46-yard line before he's caught around the ankles and pulled down. A gain of about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Maroons as they approach midfield here on their second possession of the football game.
And Salmeri came up and made a nice tackle for Argenta. He is one of their leaders on defense, and he's going to have to make a lot of plays to stop the Maroons for the Argenta defense tonight.
Good crowd again tonight here for this ball game. I'm sure that last week's win at Sullivan helped encourage many more people to come out in the nice weather we're having tonight, and of course the homecoming festivities and so on. Here's whistles before this one gets off cleanly, and there's a flag on the play. And I wasn't watching it that closely. I was still gazing at this big crowd we have here, but I think the Maroons are at error here and will be penalized. A procedure penalty is the call against Clinton. So we'll mark off 5 yards against the Maroons, put it back just outside the 40-yard line, between the 40 and 41-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd down and closer to 12 to go for a first down for the Maroons as the play comes in from the sideline. Jamie Queer and Wes Graves come into the ball game. Van Fossen comes out. Igems joins him on the sideline. And it'll be Schumacher and Queer coming wide to the left-hand side out of the I formation. Sams rolling out left, looking for a receiver. Has some time, pops it to Schumacher, gets there just in time. He makes a good solid catch and then falls forward to the 49-yard line. It took a little while for that pass to get there, but Schumacher was able to step up and make the catch in front of Shepard, who made the tackle immediately. And the Maroons are about a yard short of a first down on that pass play.
Well, Schumacher sat down. He was wide open, and he just sat down in an area near the first down marker, picked up a pretty good gain, and it'll bring up a 2nd short for the Maroons.
Micah Shepard was coming in a hurry, though, and I was hoping that ball would get there before he did, and it did, just in time. Schumacher, of course, making the safe catch up right in the chest area, tucking that ball in, and then getting forward for an extra yard or two. The Maroons about a yard short. They'll keep it on the ground, and Wilson's bottled up, and he looks like he's knocked down short of the first down. He was met right at the line of scrimmage and put to the ground and kept still about a yard short of a first down, and that's 4th down and 1 coming up for the Maroons. We'll see if they'll give it to Argenta or if they'll go for it. They've been able to move the ball pretty well so far in this ball game, but we're very early in the contest, about halfway through the first quarter.
Well, they tried to run a trap like they did on the first series of downs on that play, and just Argenta did a nice job of stuffing it in the middle before it happened.
They're going to go for it. He's going to try to draw him off sides, and somebody did move along the line of scrimmage, and here are the flags. It wasn't a big move, but somebody did move a little bit, and the officials tossed the flags, but I think one of the Maroons is at fault here. And, boy, you could tell that Argenta lineman that had jumped just a little bit, just flinched a little bit, was looking at the officials like, wait a second, I was not at fault here, and that's the way the officials saw it also. So the Maroons penalized the 5 yards. They're back close to the 45-yard line. And this time Sams will drop back and prepare to punt the football to Argenta. The Maroons lead 7-0, but they're stopped on this second drive near midfield. And we'll have to punt the football. Queer and Conley now come from wide out positions in tight to block on the line. The Maroons won't pull the fake here. Good rush by Argenta, but Sams gets the kick away. Hits about the 30, bounds down to the 25. Almost touched by Argenta, and it rolls down to the 20, and down there at the last second they got out of the way of that football and did not touch it. So Argenta will start this time, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Well, it's good coverage on the kick as the ball was bouncing, and the blocking was there for the Argenta player. But Jamie Queer moved around his block and got in there, and that's what made the Argenta guy let it go.
So far, the Bombers have not been able to move the football all that well, although Micah Shepard, their sophomore quarterback, who I'm sure is being played a great deal now at this point in the season. I don't know if he started early in the year, but Ben Davis putting him in there now, preparing for the future, as they do have a young football team and off to an 0-7 start this year, and has him under center here on this third series. 1st and 10 from their own 20. He will give it off, and they'll find a little opening up the middle this time before Wes Graves comes up and gets help from Josh Wilson on the ball carrier, Corey Albano. He's a sophomore, 5'9", 138 pounds is all. But he got a good gain of about 7, almost 8 yards on the play. We'll call it 7, and a 2nd and 3 coming up for the Bombers.
Yeah, there's no doubt Argenta does have a young club as they're trying to get some experience with some of these kids that will be around for a few more years. And it was a good play as he moved across the field, broke some tackles, got a pretty substantial gain.
They got 3 wide receivers again here on 2nd down and 3, sending a man in motion from right to left. And Shepard wants the pass, rolls out, has it deflected, and it'll drop harmlessly incomplete as he was hit at the time he was throwing that football by, I believe it was Casey Hicks, who was charging from behind as he rolled out to the left and hit him from behind and forced that pass to just be a sick-looking dying quail out there as it hit the turf.
Yeah, Casey did a nice job, as you said, for pursuit from the backside as he got outside the offensive lineman trying to block him. And before Shepard could get the arm motion going, he stopped the arm motion and got the incomplete pass.
So now a 3rd down and 3, and it's a long 3. They've got to get it out to about the 31-yard line. Again, Shepard under center, awaiting the football. Has it. Short drop, pop over the middle, has a man there, and the catch is made. It was juggled a bit. Igins will make the tackle, but not till Carlson makes the catch and gets out the midfield on the pattern coming up the middle of the field. A good catch. He bobbled it a bit, but was able to hold on to it, and Argenta has the 1st down out to midfield.
That was a crossing pattern as the receiver broke in a little bit from his outside position. And Argenta's, if they stay in this formation, should be very effective because they're spreading the field out and they're not allowing the Maroons to stay in the middle of the field, and they might get some success out of this wide formation.
Kind of like the way Micah Shepard throws the football. He puts some zip and he puts it right on the numbers. He hit another man earlier in this ball game right on the hands, but they didn't make the catch on that one. Here's the run up the middle and gaining about 3 or 4 yards as Albano gets it down to about the 47-yard line of the Maroons. So Argenta, for the first time in the ball game, as we're down to just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter of play, is into Maroon territory.
Well, they tried to run on Dave that time, and Dave stopped the run relatively short gain. And Dave's going to have to do a pretty good job tonight against this Argenta team for the Maroons, as he is definitely one of the Clinton's defensive leaders.
Woodhull comes wide to the right-hand side, and this time Carlson, who just made that pass catch, is wide to the left-hand side. One lone back in the backfield on 2nd down and 7. Another short drop. Quick pop over the middle and off the hands and incomplete. A good solid hit by Igins coming up from a safety spot on Nate Shepard, the intended receiver, over the middle, and that would have been enough for a 1st down if Shepard had been able to hang on.
Yeah, Bobby did a nice job there as he came up from the safety position. He read the quarterback sizes as Micah Shepard just locked on his receiver, and he did a good job of making sure that the guy didn't have a chance to catch it after he bobbled it by putting a nice solid hit on him.
Shepard, who has quarterbacked in the past for this football team, playing a receiver spot now. He's a good athlete. He'll have his chances to catch some more before this one's over. On 3rd down and 7 now for the Bombers at the Maroon 47-yard line. Again, Woodhull's in motion. Shepard rolling out to the left, firing it down the sideline and short and incomplete for his intended receiver at about the 38 or 37-yard line. Diving over there, I believe it was Carlson, and it came up short, incomplete. 4th down and 7 coming up.
The Bombers tried to set up the play. They tried to hit the man in motion. I think it was 21 Woodhull.
No, it was 4 Carlson.
Or Carlson? Okay, I'm sorry. But,
that's all right.
They tried to hit him coming out toward the sideline. Just didn't have enough on the ball.
That's your first mistake tonight. Nate Shepard back in punt formation, dropping back to about his own 40-yard line. Awaits the snap from center. The Maroons have Igins and Schumacher standing at about their own 15. Under a little pressure, end-over-end kick that Igins will take on the run at about the 16. He's to the 20, going to the far sideline. Looking for an opening, gets past Woodhull a little bit, then they grab him around the ankles, and Igins goes down about the 27-yard line or so. And the Maroons will take over on offense again here with just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Clinton is leading 7-0. They intercepted a pass on the first pass from the line of scrimmage by Argenta. Schumacher making the interception near midfield, and the Maroons moved it right in for the only touchdown in the ball game so far.
Well, the Maroons did a nice job on their first drive of running the ball, but then Argenta did a good job on the Maroons' second drive, stiffening up, so it'll be interesting to see what the play calling here is.
They gave him forward progress actually to the 29-yard line, so that's where the Maroons start first and 10. Here's the option. Here's the pitch to Conley, but they cover pretty well, string it out. He got it to about the 33 or 34-yard line, so the Maroons get some positive yardage of maybe 4 or 5 yards on it. Shepard, not Shepard, but Sams, of course, the quarterback for the Maroons, keeping it as long as he could, then getting the pitch to Conley, but there were 3 or 4 white shirts waiting for Ryan when he got that pitch.
Yeah, Argenta did a nice job of pursuit by the linebackers as they followed Nate and Conley both, and they just strung that option out to the sidelines where it's not very effective.
2nd down and a long 7 for the Maroons at about their own 33-yard line. And Sams wants to pass, has some pressure, but gets a good block from Lemo. Now will run with the football as he scrambles. Good solid tackle by Carlson as Sams got a few more yards, maybe 3 or so, to the 36-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down for Clinton in about 3.5, maybe almost 4 yards, close to 4 yards to go for a 1st down for the Maroons.
Yes, it was a great solid open field tackle by Carlson there. as Nate saw the blocking on the right side fail a little bit. He saw an open lane, was going to try to run for it. And, you know, if Carlson didn't make that tackle, he would have picked up big yardage.
Here's Schumacher and Queer wide to the left-hand side. I formation for the Maroons. Sam's rolling out left, has time, wants to throw. They've got him covered. He'll bloop it over the middle for Schumacher and over his head, incomplete. And he took a good solid hit right after he let go of the pass. It was knocked to the turf by Brian Stivers, another sophomore, 5'10", 181. Pass goes incomplete, 4th down for Clinton, and Argenta's defense has done a good job these last couple of series by Clinton.
Yeah, Argenta has definitely stiffened up there, and I think Nate did the best thing he could do in just throwing that ball away. And now they'll punt, and hopefully the defense shuts down Argenta once again.
Sam dropping back to near his own 25, about the 24-yard line, awaiting this one, and Argenta's not expecting a real long kick. He gets it high, and he gets it high again. I was going to say he gets it high usually when he punts a football, and he does again. This one gets some distance, though, and gets a good roll as it bounces inside to 40, inside to 35, and rolls dead about the 34-yard line. And it certainly was high enough, gave the Maroons plenty of time to get down there and cover it. So Argenta will start 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. What are you giggling about over there?
Well, it seems like every time Argenta starts to drive, it's on the 33 to 34. I just noticed that. But
this time they'll start with only 35 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, but it's good starting position, and they mounted a little bit of a drive with that spread out formation, so it'll be interesting. They look to be doing a nice job on the passing plays.
Maroons coverage man getting tested tonight by Argenta in their passing game, and I'm sure they will again very shortly on 1st and 10 from the 34. And Shepard wants the pass. Under some pressure this time, guns it out there, and it goes off the hands of Woodhull, incomplete, and Wes Graves was right there. Good, tight coverage by Graves, and didn't give Woodhull much of a chance to catch that one. And again, Shepard that time was under some pretty good pressure by the on-rushing defensive lineman for the Maroons.
Yeah, it was a good job by both ends on that play. As the defensive line did its job, and the secondary did its job as they rushed the quarterback in. There was good airtight coverage, as you said, and there was not much room to get that ball in there.
Almost looked like Graves had a chance to maybe step in front and make the interception on that one. If he could have, he might have been off to the races for a touchdown. But as it is, it's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 coming up. They've got 3 wideouts to the right-hand side and 1 to the left-hand side. 1 lone back in the backfield. Long call. Shepard short drop. Quarterback will run with the football up the middle of the field, and the quarterback draw gets it out to the 39, maybe the 40-yard line. That looked like a design play there as he just took a short drop and then ran up the field with the football. And the time runs out in our first quarter of play. We'll take a break. We're at the end of 1 quarter of play. Clinton leads by a touchdown. The Maroons lead Argenta 7-0.
The Clinton Daily Journal brings hometown news to you Monday through Friday. If you haven't tried the Journal lately, pick up a copy and discover city council and school board news. Who, what, where, and when. Farm Bureau, YMCA, and library features. Up-to-the-minute sports coverage. High-impact classified ads. Business and service guides, and much, much more. Call today, 935-3171, to subscribe to your hometown news.
All right, 1 quarter is down, and the Maroons have a 7-0 lead. They scored on their opening possession after intercepting an Argenta pass, and it was such a great start. We were thinking big, but Argenta has played pretty good football the rest of this first quarter of play. Defensively, they have slowed down the Maroon attack, and they have shown the ability to move the football, especially through the air. And this game is far from over with just a 7-0 lead for Clinton.
Yeah, Argenta on that first drive didn't do well against the Clinton running game, but then they stiffened up, and against the pass, they did a nice job putting pressure on Nate and making him throw the ball. So this Argenta team does look pretty good.
You have to keep in mind the Maroons scored less than 3 minutes into the ball game on Conley's 23-yard run up the middle. After Jeff Wilson had carried time after time after time, they finally gave the ball to Conley, and that caught Argenta off stride a little bit. He found the opening up the middle of the field and ran it in for the only touchdown so far of the ball game. But that's been the only scoring so far. It's been a stalemate since. Now our situation, as we resume play in quarter number 2, and Argenta will move toward the south goal. Near the 40-yard line of Argenta, the Bombers have a 3rd down and about 4. They've got to get it out to the 44-yard line. Shepard under center. This is Micah Shepard, the sophomore quarterback. He'll take the handoff, roll out right, has time, may run with it. No, he'll pass deep down the middle of the field. Got a man down there and diving for it, but not able to catch it. Was a diving Jason Scott, another sophomore. He had man-to-man coverage there, had his man beat a little bit, and if he had been able to come up with the football, it would have been a big gain down to the Maroon 35-yard line or so, but it drops incomplete.
Yeah, it was a post pattern as they went about 20, 30 yards downfield. They tried to hook up. I don't think Shepard coming across the field and then trying to throw against his body had enough enough just to get it to him as the throw is kind of off to the side.
Argenta will go to punt formation again. And Nate Shepard, the senior, back at his own 26-yard line or so, has time, gets a nice high kick away. The Maroons will watch. Fair catch called by Schumacher, makes a running grab, falls to the turf safely with the football in hand, and goes down about the 32-yard line. So Clinton will start this offensive series from their own 32-yard line. Nate Sams, who's playing defense again tonight. The Maroons have inserted him on the defensive side of things in the last few ball games, and he's playing both ways. Is in there quarterback, of course, as he comes back out on the football field after stopping at the sideline for just a moment to confer with the coaches. On first down, the Maroons will run it. Conley, a little opening up the middle, then is tripped up and falls down at about the 37 or 38-yard line. That might be about a 5-yard gain on the first down play, and that's what the Maroons need to get the ball moving in the right direction again. It will be a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 coming up.
And there are nice holes filled in by the offensive line as they did a nice job of putting Connolly out there and giving him a big hole, and the linebackers had to come up and make a good tackle on him, or he might have went off to the races.
Maroons will pitch it to Conley this time, run it to the short side of the field, right-hand side. He runs good and strong as he had somebody hit him hard and hang on, but he gets it across the 40, and with good individual effort, is able to get it out to about the 42-yard line, but it looks like Ryan's a little slow getting up after the play. He really gave it a big effort there at the end with somebody hanging on to him hard. He stopped a yard or two short of the first down, and now they will attend. I believe that is Ryan down there, but we've got some players standing right in front of us, and hard to just make absolutely sure, but I don't think he popped right up from that. And he is still down in the field right about where the tackle was made at the 42-yard line or so.
Well, they tried to run a sweep to the right side, and it was a good job by Nate Shepard of Argenta as he come up and made a pretty good hit on Conley, and I believe it is him still down.
As we watch our TV monitor, we can see Brian Knudsen in the meantime conferring with a couple of his players, calling the play and sending Jamie Queer and Wes Graves in with the play from the sideline. It'll be a 3rd down and 2. It was Ryan Conley, but he's back up on his feet, moving under his own power, and he appears to be okay. And we'll see who goes in at the tailback spot for this 3rd down and about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards call for the Maroons. They haven't got a first down for a while. Need to get a first down and keep a drive alive here. Looks like Randy Rich is checked in at the tailback spot. Rich checks in at tailback. Quarterback keeper by Sams. Got a good offensive line push. Ross Wantland leading the way. Casey Hicks. And, of course, David Lemmel. And they gave him enough running room that he was able to punch it all the way out to the 45-yard line for the first down.
It was a good job by the offensive line. As you said, all those guys surged on Argenta, and they really didn't have a chance to stop once they got that initial surge, and Nate just followed his good blocking for the first down.
I think they used a quick snap count also, though, to get the jump on the gun a little bit, too, on Argenta, just right up the middle for the first down. That one didn't come off cleanly. Whistles blowing, flags flying, and stop play here for just a moment. We're early in the second quarter of play. Clinton is leading 7-0. You know, we noted the number of penalties in the ball game last week between Sullivan and Clinton. It just seemed like there was a lot of penalties for a couple of teams that have been playing football for, 6-7 weeks going into that ball game last week. And now the Maroons with about their 3rd procedure penalty, it seems like. We've got to start nipping these and not making these mental mistakes out there. It's late in the season to be having these errors.
Yeah, definitely, because it just puts you in a situation where it's a 1st and 15 and you have to go pretty long for the first down.
Makes it tougher to keep the drive alive, and Sams is in trouble and caught from behind. Coming through there with the snap of the football, and on top of Sams in no time at all is Rich Minnick. He's a junior, 6'1", 190 for Argenta, and that's another big loss, another 3-yard loss on top of the 5-yard penalty. So now the Maroons have a 2nd down and about, 17, 18 yards to go for a first down. They've got to get it to the Argenta 45-yard line to get the first down.
And that play didn't look like it came off cleanly at all, and I think Nate really didn't get the snap rather well either, and the Argenta guy just found him in the backfield for a loss.
Looked like he had the ball after everybody else was in motion and didn't give him time to get away. He has it cleanly this time, has some time to throw. Throws it up in the air, high arching pass for Schumacher, but Woodhull is there and makes the catch, but he is out of bounds according to the official. Schumacher was making the tackle as Woodhull came down with the football, and Woodhull did not come down in bounds with it at the Maroon 38-yard line. It's ruled an incomplete pass, but Nate really hung that one up in the air, a dangerous pass, and could have been intercepted if Woodhull had been able to keep his feet in bounds.
Well, Nate had to rush a little bit as he was under a little bit of pressure, but he really didn't get his front foot in front of him, and he really didn't get a lot on that pass, and that's why it hung up in the air, and it gave Argenta a chance to defend it.
On a 3rd down and 18, only one wide receiver. Sam's back to pass. He's got Schumacher in behind, but he'll throw for Schumacher. It's intercepted by a linebacker at the 40-yard line, 30-yard line, 20-yard line. Sam's comes up, makes a hit, but the man's still on his feet, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. An interception by Zeke Wade, a senior, 5'8", 155 pounds. That pass apparently underthrown, I believe, to Schumacher, and he stepped right up and made the pick and was off to the races, and Sam's knocked him down just inside the 10, but it's 1st and goal for Argenta.
Well, I think there's a little bit of a miscommunication there between Nate and Schumacher, as I believe Nate wanted him to stay inside, and Schumacher went outside, made a cut, and that just left the linebacker there in coverage. And I don't know if it was just underthrown, if there was a little miscommunication there, but it's a good play for Argenta.
Well, it's a big opportunity for the Bombers, trailing Clinton 7-0. They have a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, so the defense of the Maroons will really be tested now. The young quarterback, Micah Shepard, has him up to the line. Awaits the snap, has only one man in the backfield, wideouts both ways, fakes the handoff. No, he did give it off, and the fullback will take it up down to about the 5-yard line. I thought he kept the football that time, but he did not. And Andy Moore got it down to near the 5-yard line, about a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and goal from near the 5-yard line.
Well, that's deceiving in this passing formation, because you spread the field out so much, you almost expect them to pass on every down. And that's what's going to make it tough on the defense, because it puts so many people wide off the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and goal from the 5. Wide receivers both ways again. One lone back in the backfield. Shepard spinning, giving it off again. Still on his feet and down close to the goal line, and in for the touchdown is Andy Moore. Moore got the call both times, and Moore found a big enough hole and is able to punch it in the end zone. And the Bombers are within a point. They trail the Maroons only by 1, 7-6.
Moore did a nice job there as he was hit at the line, but he spun off and he just kind of eluded the linebackers there and got in for the score. Nice run, as he basically did it individually, as the lead block failed there and he was hit at the line.
So a 5-yard touchdown run after an interception of a Nate Sam's pass by linebacker Rich Minnick, and they're going to line up and go for 2 and try to get the lead here. A 2-point conversion attempt coming up from the 3-yard line. Shepard again with now an I formation behind him and 3 wideouts. Will spin, fake the handoff, roll out left, has some time, shoots for the left front corner of the end zone. It's deflected and knocked down. A nice defensive play by Bob Igems, as Carlson appeared to be open in the the left front corner of the end zone, but Igems came up at the last second and knocked the pass where Carlson couldn't catch it.
Oh, Bobby did a nice job there once again, coming from a safety position. He just read the quarterback's eyes and came across the field with the rolling quarterback, as not many quarterbacks like to throw across their body to the other side of the field.
Timeout on the field, 8:25 to go before halftime. The Maroons still lead, but only by 1 over Argenta Oriana, 7-6.
Pain pills are a common thing with people who feel they have no place left to turn. Pills for your backaches, for that headache, pills for your sinuses. You've been to your doctor. He doesn't know what else to do, so you keep on taking pills. But pills don't have to be a part of your life, and neither does pain. Your backache or headache can be relieved without surgery and without drugs. At the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic in Clinton, Dr. Harold Allen will diagnose the cause of your pain. And once you find the cause, you can usually find the cure. Pain is not normal. Something can be done about it. Call the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic at 935-6842. We relieve pain.
Nate Shepard ready to kick off, and Nate Sams is the deep man. Something different here for the Maroons, a different kickoff return formation. From the 15-yard line, Sams to the 20, bringing up the middle of the field, looking for a hole. Still on his feet and stripped up as he gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line. One lone deep man, and it was Nate Sams. Little different wrinkle out of the Maroons on a kickoff return, but it got a good return out to about the 36-yard line, 1st and 10 for Clinton.
Nate did a nice job, and a little bit of surprises. He hasn't been the return man all year long, and he just put out there, did a nice job, though.
Mike Craig, our sideline man, has been sidelined tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite get the reception he needed to be able to hear us up here in the booth so he could give us reports from the sideline, and he's shaking his head right now. I didn't know what's going on with Nate on the return, but the Maroons will run on 1st down. Looks like, I believe, Wilson up the middle on the quick opener up the middle, got about 4 yards or so. What about that, Mike? You're the one who pointed out when they were lining up out there that Nate was lined up to return the kickoff, and it was kind of surprising, something different out of the Maroons.
Well, yeah, with Igems running one back earlier and with Conley's speed, and then they put Nate back there with a chance of him getting hurt. But, hey, maybe that's what works in practice, so that's what they're going with.
2nd and 6 for the Maroons from the 40-yard line, their own 40. They'll give it off to Conley as he tries the middle and didn't get much some of those linebackers doing a pretty good job. I saw Jeff Jackson in there, and there's Minnick again, the man that made the interception, and they were both there to knock him down in a hurry, and very little gain on the play, about a third down, and 6 coming up now for the Maroons.
Yeah, I talked with Argenta's coach, and they said the one thing that is the strong point of their defense is their linebacking core. He felt that they're pretty solid in the middle.
Jackson's a good-sized young man, 6'3", 193. He is a senior. Minnick is a junior, 6'1", 190. Maroons on a third down and 6. Sams wants to throw. Was in a crowd, now running with the football. Wanted to throw, but Stead keeps it. He was looking for Argenta. He'll get the first down on the run as he got across the 50-yard line. He hesitated for a moment like he'd pop it at the last second to Argenta, but then decided to run with it, and he made the right decision. He got the first down and more, all the way to the market near the 48-yard line of Argenta.
Well, when he pump faked, he froze the linebacker there, and then that allowed him to run right by him, and had to be a nice tackle by the secondary man there to keep Nate from going any further than downfield than he had gotten.
Maroons have plenty of time to get some points on the board here. They lead by 1, 7-6, and there's still just under 7 minutes to go before halftime. Conley up the middle, took a hard shot and then goes down as he keeps his feet moving in the right direction. But boy, he took a shot as he was met right at the line of scrimmage and only got about a 1 or maybe 2-yard pickup on the play. They'll spot the football just outside the 45. So a gain of about 2, 2nd and 8 coming up for the Maroons.
Yeah, one thing about the Argenta defense is they're going to get their hits on you. They put on some pretty good hitting display tonight as they've knocked the Maroons around pretty good on the tackling efforts.
2 wide receivers to the right-hand side, I formation. Sams will give it to Conley. Not much room there. He does get it inside the 45 and down about the 44-yard line as he stutter steps his way through the maroon and white shirts out there. A gain of maybe a yard or 2 more to the 44-yard line, but the Maroons still have another third down and long call here. A 3rd and about 7 coming up as they've got to get it down to about the almost the 37-yard line of Argenta.
And I think they might put it on top here, or put it up top in the air and go to Schumacher out of the tight end position.
Got everybody tight on the line. Man coming from behind, and he'll be sacked on the play. Couldn't see him coming. Sams had a linebacker bearing down from behind, and Jeff Jackson, before Sams could throw the football, drops him at the 50-yard line for a loss of about 6 yards on the play. A quarterback sack and a 4th down and 13 now for the Maroons. They'll have to punt the football.
And there's just nothing Nate could do on that play. It was on the blind side. He couldn't see it, and all he could do was just hold on to the ball when he got hit.
Officials will stop the clock for a moment here, take an official's timeout for just a moment as Ryan Conley's trying to get the helmet straightened out. Got it squared away, so he'll be ready to cover on this apparent punt coming up by the Maroons. Nate Sams will drop back inside his own 40-yard line. Todd Carlson will be the deep man for Argenta. He's dropping back to about the 15-yard line. Not a big rush, end-over-end kick that Carlson's looking at, coming up, taking it about the 20. He fumbled the football, but gets back on top of it at about the 24-yard line. Made a good recovery on his miscue, and Argenta will start this time at their own 24-yard line, 1st and 10. We're down to 5 minutes, 2 seconds to go before halftime. Clinton's lead is just 1, 7-2-6.
Well, Carlson had a tough time. There's a rather weird spiral on the ball coming off the tee, and he did a nice job just to get it back on the football.
Maroons will try to cover this offense of Argenta that has given them some problems through the air, but when they got a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line after the interception turnover, punched it in, running the ball on the ground. This time they'll start at their 24. And Micah Shepard behind center. Has the football, dropping straight back. Got some pressure, throws it out here in the flat, almost intercepted, stepping up in front and almost making the catch was Wes Graves, having good anticipation again for a 2nd time in this ball game. Stepped in front of Carlson. Schumacher was also there defensively for the Maroons around the 30-yard line.
And I don't think Shepard saw Wes Graves as it was a pass out to the flat. And Wes just came from the underneath and made a nice overplay on the ball and almost made another interception. And it was a very good job by Wes Graves because the quarterback couldn't see him.
Jason Scott, along with David Woodhall, are wide to the left-hand side. Todd Carlson's wide to the right-hand side. Out of the I formation on 2nd and 10 now, the Bombers. And they'll keep it on the ground. A little bit of running room, and up to about the 28-yard line is Corey Albano.
Corey Albano, the ball carrier.
They got it out, to, as we said, to about the, I think the 28-yard line is where they'll spot it. And 3rd down and at least 6 coming up now for the Bombers. They're in their own territory with now down to about 4:15 to play before halftime.
And Josh Carter did a nice job coming up from linebacker's position to stop Albano before he got any more yards, and it'll set up a 3rd and long for Argenta, a position they faced much of the night tonight.
They'll send 3. wide to the left side, which is the wide side of the field, one wide to the right-hand side, one lone back in the backfield. On 3rd and 6, and Shepard wants to throw. Has time, pops it over the middle, has Nate Shepard there. He makes the catch and has the first down at the 39-yard line. He found an opening, was just standing put right in the middle of the field with some space around him, and Shepard to Shepard for the first down out to the 39-yard line of Argenta.
It was a nice pattern by Shepard as they ran a kind of a pick pattern where an inside guy runs inside and then the outside guy runs to the outside, and then a guy comes in underneath in that position. They cleared out by the secondary, and he just sat down into the area and picked up first down.
Out to the 39, 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Again, 3 wideouts on this first down play. And Shepard has shown the ability to put the ball right on the money with some zip on it. And Nate Shepard made a good catch on that last one. They got a little hole up the middle, but closing quickly is Josh Carter, the knockdown the ball carrier, Albano. And after about a 2-yard gain to the 41-yard line, Albano tried to make a cut to get away from the oncoming Josh Wilson, but Josh able to cut him down in his tracks after a very short gain.
And he kind of slipped too, and it was a nice play by Carter. Once again, he's coming up filling well from his linebacker position, and he showed a good effort over this season. He's doing a nice job at linebacker.
Now Josh Wilson has shown good quickness out there from his linebacker spot. He's not one of the biggest linebackers you see on a football team, but he gets out there and gets after it with some good quickness. And there's a flag before this one comes off. And we'll see what the officials call this time. They might have taken too much time, but we'll wait and see what the call is by the officials. It will go against the Bombers. 5-yard penalty coming up. They did take too much time. They're back to the 36-yard line, and we'll have a second down and about 13 coming up now at their own 36. Play comes in from the sideline. Bringing in is Jason Scott, another sophomore.
And I think most definitely they will pass on this second and long situation. And let's hope the Maroons can stiffen up and play good secondary coverage and maybe get a turnover here.
I would think that based on what we've seen so far tonight and all these underclassmen on this football team, Argenta's football program will be definitely on the upswing the next couple of years. Here they are now with second down at 13. Shepard has time, wings it over the middle, and Josh Wilson deflected that pass, and there were all kinds of maroon shirts around the intended receiver, who I believe was Corey Albano, who came out of the backfield that time, or at least lined up out there on a slot where he was open over the middle for a moment, but not that open as Josh Wilson made the deflection on the pass.
Yeah, Shepard waited too long to throw the pass as his intended wide receiver kind of sat down in the middle, but the coverage got there before he threw the pass, and he took too much time, and as you said, the Maroons swarmed to the ball before he really had a chance to catch it.
Mike Craig was just telling me while you were talking there that the offensive line of Argenta is doing a very good job on the Maroons' defensive line, not giving any ground, great pass protection. Of course, we've seen that with Shepard having plenty of time to throw the football almost every time tonight. Here he goes again, has some pressure this time, but wings it out there, blockers out in front of the man who makes the fast catch, and down to the 45-yard line, short of the first down. At that time, they intended to let those guys come through and give them a chance to get those blockers upfield in front of the man out of the backfield that caught the football. But short of a first down as the Maroons made the tackle about the 45-yard line of Argenta, about a pickup of about 8 yards or so, but they're 4th and 4 coming up here, and I believe will be forced to punt the football as they're short of midfield.
And you brought up a nice point, Larry. Is the intent on that is to let the defensive line get upfield and then pass it to the running back coming out of the backfield when there's nobody left to tackle him, and he picked up a nice gain.
Argenta's letting the clock run down as much as they can, apparently with the intent of using up as much time as possible before they give it back to the Maroons, and they use a timeout here. So we'll take a quick timeout also. Clinton appears to be in position to get the football one last time. With 1:47 to go before halftime, Clinton leads 7-6. You were giving credit to Argenta. Their offensive line seems to be doing a real good job out there against the Maroons' defensive line, and David Lemmel hasn't had much of a chance to put pressure on Shepard.
Yeah, on their pass protection, they've been doing a good job. On their run blocking, they haven't been doing much, but boy, on the pass blocking, they've been stopping guys right there and holding their men pretty close.
They did do enough on their run blocking, though, to give Argenta a chance to run it in from 9 yards out on 2 plays to get their touchdown in this ball game. They trail the Maroons only by 1. Here's the punt. It chases Eigens back inside his 20, and he slips and falls down about the 19, and no return on the kick. So things just aren't going real smooth here for the Maroons, except for about the opening 3 minutes of the ball game. When the Maroons kicked off, Argenta one pass play. Schumacher makes an interception, and we're thinking, oh boy, this is going to be fun and easy tonight, because the Maroons turned that right around and put a touchdown on the board just a couple minutes later. Conley ran it in from 23 yards out after Wilson had run the ball nicely from the 48 on several plays down to that point. And Clinton led 7-0 for quite a while until we got here about the midway point of the second quarter when Argenta was able to take advantage of an interception and score a short time later. So 7-6 Clinton with the lead, but the offense has struggled, and this time Sam's keeping the football is dropped for a loss of about 4 yards on the play. Back to about the 15-yard line. A loss of about 4, second down and 14 coming up. And one of the Maroons is being attended to down here. I believe it's Ryan Conley. He's got the jersey off, and we look down at the bench behind the Maroons players along the sideline, and Ryan is being attended to by the trainer down here. Remember, he was hurt on one of the running plays earlier in the ball game, and he might have sustained an injury that has got him out right now. Maroons then with replacements in there, and they tried to run it up the middle again here on this second down play, and only got a couple of yards. And Argenta's going to take time out. Their defense doing the job on the Maroons has Clinton in a 3rd down and 12 situation. Argenta will take time out. Down to 44 seconds to go before halftime. Before halftime, Maroons with the 1-point lead and with the football, but they have a 3rd down and 12 situation. You don't think they're going to probably do anything too crazy here. Don't want to give up a turnover, but you never know. At the same time, Argenta used a timeout here because they're thinking we're going to get the ball back here and still have a chance to maybe score some points and take the lead before halftime. And obviously, it would appear to us, at least to me, Joe, I guess I shouldn't speak for you, but Argenta's got the momentum right now. They are playing very well, and they are the team that's on the upswing right now on the football field.
Well, right now the story of the game has been turnovers. I mean, each team has cashed in off the turnover they have received, but other than that, it's been a pretty even battle.
3 wideouts to the right-hand side for the Maroons. Trips the right-hand side, but they will run it up the middle, and Argenta was not fooled at all. Not at all. That couple of yard gain on the play for Clinton as they gave it to the one lone back out of the backfield, Jeff Wilson. But he might have got back close to the original line of scrimmage after the punt, and Argenta uses another timeout. We'll keep it here on this one. It's 3rd and about 10 coming up, and Nate Sams was going to be forced to punt from deep in his own territory, and Argenta now with 34 seconds left is going to have the football at least around midfield, you would think, after this punt, with enough time to maybe do something. And with their passing game, it could get a little exciting here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They have the quick playability, and they could definitely get a scoring drive here in very little time. And with Shepard's strong arm, they could run a deep pattern and then maybe get it down to the goal line and run with more again.
We haven't seen Micah Shepard really throw the ball too deep, but he certainly throws it with authority, and he is accurate. I mean, he is, I can't really think of too many passes that have been off the mark. Even his pass that Schumacher intercepted was right where the receiver was. It was Schumacher who made a good read on that first play from the line of scrimmage and was there to make the interception. And there's also been a couple of passes that Wes Graves has made good reads and has been there to knock him down and come close to intercepting too, but they've been right where the receiver has been located. So that is a worry. Carlson is the lone deep man. Argenta may go for the block here. Carlson's at the 50. Sams has time, gets the kick away. High kick, not real deep. It's going to come down and hit short of the 40, then bound across the 40. Takes a good roll for the Maroons, and will roll dead at about the 46-yard line. The Maroons haven't touched it yet. Now the officials give up waiting on the Maroons to down it and stop the clock with 21 seconds left. That's smart of the Maroons, though, to get every little second they can off the clock by not touching and downing the football. And the officials finally say, okay, it's dead. Let's stop the clock. 47-yard line, let's call it, of the Maroons for Argenta for a couple of plays, and the clock starts, and they're not up to the line of scrimmage yet.
Yeah, and they definitely do have time to punch it in here, but we'll see what type of passing plays they run here.
12 seconds, 11 seconds as they come up to the line of scrimmage. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. They'll get one play. Faking a couple handoffs. Shepard wanting to run, slips and falls, fumbles the football. Argenta's going to get back on top of it, and time runs out. Oh, I wish we could have picked that up and run it in like Monticello did against us. But instead, Argenta was there to make the recovery, and time runs out. We're at halftime. Clinton leads, but only by 1 point over this surprising Argenta-Oriental football team. We'll take a break here with the score. Clinton 7, Argenta, and the Maroons move it in for a touchdown on a 23-yard touchdown run by Ryan Conley, and Carl Courts kicked the extra point. But Argenta answered that one in the second period of play when they intercepted the pass, got it down to the 9-yard line, and then a touchdown run of 5 yards by Andy Moore got them within 1 point. They went for 2, did not get the conversion, so it's 7-6 in favor of Clinton. Clinton will receive the second half kickoff, and we've got the same kickoff coverage, or excuse me, return by the Maroons here. Nate Sam's a deep man. They'll kick it away from him and bloop it down inside the 30, and diving and recovering the ball at the 25-yard line. Running back for it was Josh Wilson, making a good safe catch at it as he ran back after the football. The Maroons have everybody real close to that 50-yard line, between the 50 and the 40 or 35, and only one deep man, Nate Sands, and they did a good job on the kick, looped it over everybody in front of Sands and forced Josh Wilson to get back to recover that football and down it at the 25-yard line.
Well, I think they were trying to set up good upfield blocking for Nate, and they just kicked it away from him.
First and 10 for Clinton from their 25, and the first down run goes nowhere. Hit immediately as Wilson, cut down low and then hit high by Carlson. The man that came in down low is doing a great job is Rich Minnick. And so far, at least on the first play from the line of scrimmage, the Maroons' offensive line overpowered a bit by the defensive line of Argenta, especially Minnick coming up there. And Argenta still playing very intense on the first play.
Yeah, the linebackers once again just filled the holes nicely, and they didn't give Wilson anywhere to go.
Sam's on second down. Is going to option right, short side of the field, cuts it upfield, got by a man, takes on a man head on, and goes out of bounds at about the 36, 37-yard line, and that may be enough for a first down. Sam's quickness and identifying where the hole was as they were covering the tailback out of the backfield let him get upfield and get the first down yardage to about the 37-yard line. And Ryan Conley, we understand, is questionable for play in this second half. He is not in there right now as Randy Rich is at the tailback spot. He apparently has possibly at least suffered a shoulder separation. He has shoulder problems as we suspected. On first down, the run up the middle, and I believe that was Rich who got the call. He gets it up near the 40-yard line, a gain of about 3. Second and 7 coming up, but it'll be a real test for the Maroons if Conley can't go here in the second half of play to see how they can get along without their talented tailback.
Yeah, Conley is definitely an asset, and he runs well with Nate on the option. When they do run it correctly, it's a dangerous weapon to Clinton's offense.
Queer wide to the left-hand side. Sams will option right again. Cuts it upfield once again. Running with the football. Did he lose the football? Is there a fumble on the play? They, I think, are going to rule it down. There was a scramble for the football near the 48-yard line as Sams went down. And he is close to a first down again, as it is a first down for the Maroons. It was right in front of the Clinton bench, and I couldn't tell if that ball came loose the way the Argenta players were jumping around. I thought maybe they had come up with a football. But Clinton retains possession and has another first down on the same type of run that Sams had gotten the first down on.
And I think we're seeing exactly what they're going to try to do with Conley out there. I think they're going to try to keep the ball in Nate's hands, let him break some big plays with his explosiveness off the line and his speed.
On first down and 10 for the Maroons. Everybody tied on the line at their own 48-yard line. Wilson, a hole up the middle. It's across the 50, then hit hard. Goes down finally at about the 47-yard line as he kept his momentum going and has a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Second and 5 will be coming up for the Maroons.
And they ran one of the traps that worked well at the beginning of the game. And Wilson found some holes there and had a nice game as Argenta's linebackers once again had to come up with a good tackle.
About 5.5 to go for a first down. The Maroons at the 47 of Argenta. And Sam spins, trying to option right, beat a man defensively, and then cuts it upfield and goes out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Carlson came up to cover Randy Rich, and Sams has kept it again to get it upfield close to another first down. I think it'll be about 2 yards short of a first down this time. I just wonder how long they will continue covering the tailback out of the backfield and start keying more on Nate. And we'll see what that does, because you know we haven't had that pitch exchange between Sams and Randy Rich hardly at all this year, with the Conley playing most of the year at that spot. Third down and a short 2 for the Maroons, and Sams will quarterback keep it and push hard, and the offensive line that time does a good job pushing it back. Sams appears to have the first down close to the 40-yard line. The crowd's still relatively quiet here, but the Maroons are starting to put a drive together. They've gotten 3 first downs after taking the kickoff at their own 25-yard line. They're near the 40 of Argenta.
And it was a good job on the line up front as once again Nate on that keeper just had a big hole, and he just followed right behind Wantland and Hicks and Mummel.
They've got an I formation this time behind Sams. He'll roll out left and try to keep on the option, then pitches. It's loose on the ground, and Argenta has recovered. He tried to make what appeared to be a left-handed pitch, and Argenta has recovered the football. That one just died on the turf well away from anybody on the football field, and it was recovered by Woodhall, David Woodhall of Argenta, at the 42-yard line, and Argenta takes over on the turnover.
And there we go, the unfamiliarness between Rich and Nate, and I don't know if Nate should have pitched the ball. There really wasn't anybody around him. I don't know if Randy was back farther than Nate expected or what, but it'll be a good play for Argenta.
Well,
they'll start an offensive drive.
Pierce Sams was taking a hit when he tried to pitch the ball, but very uncharacteristic for him to try to take a chance like that in that type of situation, although he's made some late pitches for big gains for the Maroons. On first down, Argenta with the run, and they'll get some good yardage up to about the 46-yard line. Albano, the ball carrier. Sams playing both ways, makes the tackle on the play, and right after the Maroons turned over the football, we saw Ryan Conley making his way back out, and he has joined his teammates on the bench. He has the jersey back pulled on over the shoulder pads, and maybe we'll see him in the second half. We'll just have to wait and see. He's still trying to check out that shoulder, it looks like. A 2nd down and 7 coming up for Argenta.
Yeah, that'll be a good sign for the Maroons if he's able to come back.
Hasn't put the helmet back on yet, but of course the Maroons on defense right now. He's jogging up and down the sideline with the football, trying to see if he can play. Short drop. Here's a pass. Flag on the play, and the pass is off the hands of Carlson and goes incomplete. Good coverage by Schumacher, although if Carlson had caught that one, it would have been a race between those two up the field.
Yeah,
the flag, I think, is against Argenta, by the way.
It was a nice pattern for Argenta. They just ran fly pattern down the sidelines. They ran straight down the sidelines, tried to hit the man, and the pass was a little high, and he just couldn't get to it.
Motion penalty is the call against the Bombers. That will push him back 5 yards to close to the 40-41 yard line. 2nd down and about a 12 situation coming up for the Bombers. Just across the 40-yard line in their own territory. Up to the line of scrimmage. Young quarterback Micah Shepard with 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side, 1 to the left-hand side. I formation. Shepard spinning around, rolling out left now. Has time, looks downfield, fires it for the sideline. Has Carlson there, but it's out of bounds into the Clinton bench. He let him too much and threw it incomplete. A great diving effort by Todd Carlson on the play, but couldn't come up with the football.
Well, it was a nice try on both ends there, but when you're running with the football like that, it's hard to make an accurate pass, and Shepard tried his best, but that play, I think, was just too much for him to try to make that throw when he was running like that.
Down to about 7:46 to go in the 3rd quarter play. Clinton is leading by 1, 7-6. 3rd and 12 coming up for the Bombers, and here they go again with 4 wideouts. Carlson to the right-hand side, and then 3 others to the left-hand side, 1 lone back in the backfield on 3rd and 12. Shepard with the long call. Has the football. Short drop. Now wants to run with the football. Casey Hicks grabs him, and then there's help on the play by Josh Wilson, and they bring him down after basically no gain on the play, right near that 40-yard line. They give him forward progress to the 41, a gain of 1. 4th down and 11 coming up, and it looked like Shepard might have slipped a little bit as he tried to cut it upfield, and Hicks was able to grab him and slow him down.
Yeah, Shepard was pressured by Earl, and that's what really made him step up and try to run with the ball. And once he did try to run with it, as you said, Hicks did a nice job.
Here's the punt by the Bombers. Nate Shepard. Deep kick that Igins will take at the 30. He drops it on the ground. Then he gets help from Schumacher, who jumps on the football. The Maroons just still not looking real crisp and sharp out there. And here's a flag on the play back just behind the line of scrimmage when the punt was made. And there's a blocking below the waist call against Argenta, and I think the Maroons will probably make Argenta punt the football again.
Yeah,
and get the better field position.
I would think so, definitely, as that return kind of didn't come off well as it was bobbled, and I think they'll go for more yards in better position.
Now, was it not a bad punt by Shepard as he got it 30 yards downfield, and the Maroons bobbled it and had to just jump on top of it. Schumacher recovering the dropped ball of Igins. But let's just forget about that because they're going to have to do it all over again, and this is a costly penalty for Argenta in a battle for a field position in this football game. This will walk them back 15 big yards all the way to the 21-yard line. So the punt this time will come back from near the 10-yard line. We saw a couple of these calls last week in the Sullivan game, didn't we?
Yeah.
And now this one gets Argenta.
And those were big calls once again, so maybe this will be a big morale booster for Clinton and get their offensive drive.
Oh, high snap, but Shepard gets it. The Maroons had some pressure there, but couldn't block it, and the Maroons will let it bounce. Takes a bit of an Argenta bounce. Now it comes back the other way for the Maroons, and is fielded at about the 49, maybe the 48-yard line of Argenta. So the Maroons overcome the turnover on the fumble. Their defense is able to hold Argenta, and aided by some penalties here, gets good field position, and now the offense needs to make something happen. We're down to 6:52 to play in the 3rd quarter play. Still plenty of time in this ball game, but Clinton only leading by 1, 7-6, and we'd like to see the offense put some points on the board like we're used to. On first down, Sam spins, hands it off. Wilson looking for an opening, running hard, is grabbed from behind, pushed to the turf, but not till he got about 5 yards on the pickup. Gain of about 5, 2nd down, and 5 will be coming up for the Maroons at the 44 of Argenta.
And Wilson now becomes a big back in that offense as he is the most experienced back in the backfield now, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets the majority of the load.
Bob Igems has moved to the tailback spot. Bob Igems checks in at tailback now. Still no Ryan Conley in the ball game. Again, Wilson gets the call. He pitches to Igems, and Igems got back near the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard short. Wilson was supposed to be the ball carrier, but was met behind the line of scrimmage, and heads up, pitches it back to the tailback. Igems on that play running to the near side of the field, but they ran out of real estate as they were running toward the short side of the field, the Clinton side, and Igems run out of bounds. About a yard loss on the play. It's third and really closer to almost 7 yards to go for a first down for the Maroons.
It was a nice decision by Wilson. It's just the pursuit of the linebackers from Argenta forced that play out of bounds.
Sams has him up to the line of scrimmage. Short drop, pop over the middle. Schumacher in the crowd makes the catch, breaks it in the clear. 30, 25, still on his feet. There's going to be a face mask penalty too as the flag is thrown, and he's in for the touchdown. What a great run by Ryan Schumacher. There's a flag on the play, but I think somebody got his face mask, and that will be the call. Let's wait and see if the official sees it that way also. But that appeared to be the call, and the touchdown should stand up if that is the call.
Yeah, it definitely should be the face mask.
You could see after he caught it and he ran through that crowd, his head snapped back a little bit, and that's when the flag was thrown. So that's why I felt relatively certain that that would be the call. That's a 45-yard touchdown pass from Sams to Schumacher. In the air, it only went about 5, 6, 7 yards, and the quick pop over the middle. But Ryan, a great run for the touchdown.
Ryan did a nice job after he made the catch as he just released off the line from his tight end spot. They picked him up with the linebacker, and I don't think the linebacker was fast enough to cover him. He broke away from him, tried to make the tackle, got his helmet. Ryan spun away and did a nice run.
Here's Courts for the extra point attempt, his second of the night. Gets it away. Plenty of distance as usual, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 6:02 to go in the third quarter of play. Our score by Nate Sams, and a lot of individual effort then by Schumacher after he made the catch. But, you have to credit Nate, first of all, because there were white shirts on both sides of Ryan Schumacher. They had pretty darn good coverage, and he threaded the needle, Nate Sams did, to Ryan, first of all. And then, as you were saying during the break there, Ryan, with great individual effort, not to be tackled on the play. And, he showed a better speed than what I've seen in some of the previous football games. He ran away from some people there.
Yeah, and as you said, Nate did a good job as there was 2 or 3 linebackers around Ryan. He, as you said, threaded the needle, and just a lot of individual effort got him down in for the score.
All right, so Clinton with a little bit of breathing room now, an 8-point lead, 14-6, and Carl Courts with the kickoff as we're halfway through the third quarter of play. Courts with a low line drive kick that will carry down to about the 14-yard line and will be returned by one of the up men right up the middle of the field and knocked down about the 29-yard line or so. That was Josh Cheatham, another sophomore. Holy cow, do they have a lot of sophomores on this Argenta Oriental football team. Got the return of about 15 yards to the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bombers.
With the ages of some of these guys, you'd think it was their JV team just about. They have a lot of sophomores and juniors.
Well, they've been obviously forced in this situation with not that many senior and junior football players on this football team. And the program has suffered as far as the record goes a little bit, but not tonight. This Argenta Oriental football team has played very well and trailed the Maroons only by a touchdown. They've got the football again. And Shepard rolling out left after faking a handoff. Pursued heavily by Brad Earl, and he puts him to the turf. That was a long pursuing run by Earl from his end position on the left-hand side. Came all the way across, Brad Earl. I'm going back a few years here. Anyway, he chased him down and made the tackle on the play.
Yeah, Brad did a nice play, and that was a coverage sack as the secondary just covered all of the wide receivers. They didn't give Shepard a chance to throw to anybody because they were all covered. And that just allowed Brad to come completely from the other side of the field for the sack.
A big loss on the play of about 5 yards. 2nd and 15 is the ball now back at about the 23, 24-yard line. Shepard has him up to the line of scrimmage again and has 4 wideouts on this 2nd and long. Dropping straight back, looking downfield, pops it over the middle, and a catch is made. A good solid hit by Igems, but a great catch right at the same time the ball arrived, and the hit arrived by Corey Albino.
Nice. They
got the gain of the 5 yards that they lost on the sack, and an additional about 3 yards, so 3rd and 7 coming up.
Nice pop by Bobby, as you said. As soon as that ball was there, he was there.
He was there at the same time, and it was amazing that Albino was able to hang on to the football.
And I'd be surprised if Albino still isn't feeling it right now.
We have a brief timeout on the field. The officials stopped the clock for just a moment, but I guess we're all set now. Down to just under 4.5 minutes ago in the third quarter of play. Clinton has just scored their 2nd touchdown of the night on a Sams to Ryan Schumacher pass play. We've seen some of those this year, but this one, a short pass that Schumacher breaks for the touchdown. And now Argenta with a 3rd down and 7. Defense needs to make a stop here. Woodhall's in motion from left to right. 3 wideouts on this play. Shepard short drop, pop over the middle. Deflected, intercepted by Josh Wilson. What a great interception. He's down to the 20, 15, 10, and ducked down at about the 7-yard line. He tipped the ball on the short pass intended for Nate Shepard, and then was able to grab the deflection and run it upfield to put the Maroons in a 1st and goal situation.
Yeah, I don't think he saw Carter there either. They tried to throw it out to the flat, and Josh tipped it up. Nice acrobatic play at about the 34-yard line, and he rumbled down to the 6. Nice job, and he's coming a very good linebacker, and he will be back for the Maroons next season.
Well, he read the play. He watched Shepard, the quarterback, Micah Shepard, knew where he was going, got in front of that pass, good 5 yards in front of it, but got a hand on it, and then made the interception on 1st and goal from the 7. The running back is Igems, and he's cut down for a loss of a yard on the play back at about the 8. The Maroons running to the short-hand side of the field, and again, Argenta's line pouring through there. The linebackers filling the gaps, and they cut down that run for about a 1-yard loss. 2nd and goal from the 8 coming up for Clinton.
And the linebackers are pursuing nicely for Argenta. They have been all night, and they really stopped Bobby on a good play.
The yards on the ground have come very difficult for the Maroons, and Ryan Conley still on the sideline. Hasn't strapped on the helmet yet. We might not see him in the second half of play. On 2nd and goal from the 8 for the Maroons. Sams rolling out left, wanting to keep the football. Cuts it upfield at the 5. Still bounces off a tackler and on his feet, and down to about the 3-yard line or so. Sam's on the individual effort. He's got a tailback in there, and Bob Igems, who normally doesn't play that position, isn't used to playing that position that much, and you know the timing between the quarterback and the tailback probably isn't there that it needs to be on an option run like that.
Well, I think Nate did the best thing there by keeping the ball, and I think if he pitched it to Igems, there's a linebacker right there, so I really think he should have kept it, and he made a nice decision.
3rd and goal for Clinton just inside the 3-yard line. They're a little slow getting out of the huddle. The ball on the left hash mark. So the short side of the field is the left-hand side, and the Maroons are going to use a timeout. The coaching staff, Chuck Nagel and Brian Knutson, got the attention of Nate Sands before he called the play at the line of scrimmage and said, hey, let's talk this over. So we'll take timeout also. 2:39 to go before the end of the 3rd quarter play. Clinton leads 14. Chance to talk over what they want to do on a big 3rd down and goal play from the 3-yard line. Probably have talked about 2 different plays, I would imagine, while Brian Knutson was out there. Let's tell you who's lined up where. Jamie Queer, wide to the right-hand side. Wes Graves is in there offensively, wide to the left-hand side. The fullback is Jeff Wilson as usual. The tailback is Bob Igems. And behind center is Nate Sams as usual. On the play, 3rd and goal. Igems gets a call up the middle, and he hits the goal line for the touchdown. A good hole on the left-hand side. He was caught around the ankles, but had the forward momentum, and Bob Igems gets a touchdown run from 3 yards out.
Igems, the deep man in the I formation that time, received a nice lead block by Jeff Wilson there as the linebacker came to fill the gap, but then Jeff just finished him off, and Bobby made a nice play and got in for the score.
So the Maroons take advantage here. Put some more points on the board after Josh Wilson's interception and great return. Extra point attempt coming up. The Maroons can open up a 2-touchdown lead if they can nail this one here by Carl Courts. It's on the way. Looks good from here, and it is good once again. Timeout on the field this time with 2:35 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Clinton now leads over Argenta Oriana 21-2 now after their 3rd touchdown of the night. This one by Bob Igems after a terrific interception and return by Josh Wilson. Carl Courts has it teed up at the 40-yard line once again. On the way, here's the boot. Low line drive kick. And Carlson this time will return it from near the 15, 20, 25, up the middle of the field. Grab from behind, and it's Bob Igems again, the first man down. Got help on the play by a couple of others, but Igems makes the tackle on the play. Let me give credit to a couple of other guys here. Rob Smith was down on the coverage also to help out on the tackle. And one other, oh, that's right, it was Kevin McCleary who was there also to help out. So Argenta will start 1st and 10 from about their own 28-yard line, it appears.
And Bob Igems is really playing inspired football tonight as he's put some hits on some people, doing a nice job of safety position, and that time on special teams.
And filling in at the tailback spot here the last couple of series in place of injured Ryan Conley, who's on the sideline right now, apparently with shoulder problems. Here's a pass knocked down by the Maroons again. A little quick pass out in the right flat that somebody was up there right in the face. Earl was in that vicinity, and Lemmel, it might have been Big Dave that got a hand on it. I didn't see it clearly enough.
Yeah, Dave came across the line. He's the guy that got the big arms around that ball, and he batted up the air. And Casey had a shot at getting it, but he would have had to make an awesome dive for it.
That would have been fun to see if Casey could have picked that out of the air and started running with it. But it's knocked down incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Carlson comes wide to the left-hand side, and 3 others wide to the right-hand side. And one lone back in the backfield that they haven't given the ball to too much lately, Andy Moore. He rambled for some in the first half of play. He won't get it this time. They want to throw. Shepard steps up, fires it out there. It's got an open man at the 41-yard line. Catch is made and run out of bounds at about the 42, and Argenta first down. The catch made by David Woodhall. He had a little open seam out there on the right side, on the far side of the football field in front of the Argenta bench, and has the first down. They spot it closer to the 41-yard line of Argenta.
And once again, the Argenta wide receivers are doing a nice job finding the holes in Clinton's defense and sitting down in them, waiting for Shepard to find them. That was just a nice out pattern to the sidelines for the first down.
So a first down in a while for Argenta, it appears. They'll have 4 wideouts again. From their own 41, Woodhall goes in motion this time from left to right. Goes behind his quarterback, still waiting for the snap, and then it will give it. And finally, they'll get a running play here for Moore, and he gets a few yards as he rambles up close to the 45-yard line before he's brought down. About a maybe 4-yard gain on the play. We'll wait for him to bring it back out to the hash marks. Maybe closer to 3. Second down and about 7 coming up for the Bombers as we're down to the less than 2 minutes to go in the third quarter of play. And we look down to the sideline here. Dressed in the white traveling jerseys are many of the senior dads of these football players. They're along the sideline taking in this ball game. They're allowed down there in the sideline for this final regular season home game of the year. Maybe on TV we can get a shot of some of them a little bit later on when we get a chance. On 2nd and 7, Shepard back to pass, has time, gets it away, fires it deep downfield. Interception made by Randy Rich. It was overthrown, and Rich is able to go up above everybody and make the interception right at the 36-yard line. He's dropped immediately. That was one of the few bad passes that we've seen off the mark, an overthrow on the part of Micah Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard had 2 men out there, but he overthrew both of them. And Randy did a nice job as he had to jump up in the air a little bit to get that ball. And he made a good, clean interception on it.
So we look downfield, you can see some of those dads with the white jerseys on behind the bench. Here on the first down play for the Maroons. Maroons will run with the football, and Wilson gets the call. Gets a couple of yards to about the 40-yard line. Maroons want to run some time now as we're down to less than a minute to go in the third quarter play with a 2-touchdown lead. Retain possession of the football and obviously try to get some more points on the board, but also keep the game moving now. It's 21-6 in favor of Clinton, and with another interception, what's that, our third of the ball game now. Schumacher had one very early, then the one by Josh Wilson a little bit ago, and now Randy Rich picking off that one. 3 interceptions for the Maroons. Here's Wilson, good run up the middle. As he cut it upfield, he got it all the way out to the 48-yard line, and a first down for the Maroons, it would appear.
And importantly for the Maroons, they've got now 3 turnovers, and they've cashed in 14 points off those turnovers. So that's been a big part of the game tonight for Clinton, as the defense is doing a nice job forcing those turnovers.
Maroons were struggling during the first half of play and led only by a single point at halftime, 7-6. But they've turned it up here now in the third quarter play, as you mentioned, aided by some turnovers. But they have capitalized on those and gotten a couple of scores to open up a 21-6 lead. And now Argenta, even though the clock was about to run out in the third quarter play, they're going to use one of their timeouts here and discuss things. We'll keep it here on this timeout as we're about to take a break at the end of our third period of play. Here we are on TV looking down the bench, and there's some of the dads. It's not all these senior dads down there in the huddle, and some of them have had to, you know, there's the tough guys. There's the tough guys in the shirt sleeves wearing the jerseys, and then, well, I want to be careful what I say here. I'll have some angry dads at me. Just kidding, guys. Some of them have had to break out the jackets, too. It looks like, I don't want to make anybody mad here. Some of those guys are bigger than I am. But they're down there enjoying this ball game from the sidelines.
Are you kidding? All of them are bigger than you.
No, they're not. I'm not that. You're not very big. I'm a big guy. I'm a little bigger around the middle than I want to be, as a matter of fact. Some of them even wear their cap backwards on their head. Who is that guy?
That's Lance's dad.
I know who it is. That's Joe. That's a nice casual look, Joe. I like that. Oh, maybe he's taking some pictures down there or something, so he doesn't want the bill of the cap to get in the way. 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line for the Maroons. You are just a chuckling guy tonight. That one didn't get off cleanly, and the Maroons, I think, are going to be penalized here. Flags flying with the snap of the football. Wes Graves gets up a little gingerly. I think he got caught up in the pile down there. He's going to jog off the sideline. We'll hope Wes is okay. Procedure penalty against the Maroons, a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 15 coming up back at their own 43-yard line. Shane Van Fossen will run in the play from the sideline, and Brian Knudsen with 28 seconds, it looks like, to go in the third quarter of play as we look around the light pole. So they're back at their own 43 with the 1st and 15 or thereabouts. I'd like to see the Maroons maintain possession for a while here and run some time off the clock. They line up with Wilson. Ijams in the backfield. Wilson gets the call, has an opening right side. Then Carlson comes up and makes a nice low tackle on him and trips him up. But he had good forward momentum and got the 5 penalty yards back to the 49-yard line. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Maroons. And the clock winding down 12 seconds to go in the third period of play. I think that will probably run out the clock on our third period, but we'll just wait and make sure for a few more seconds. All right, that will do it. The clock's going to run out. We're at the end of 3 quarters of play. Clinton has upped their 1-point lead or something.
You got a few inches on me, but you got a few years on me, too.
Oh, how long did that take you? Yeah, okay. All right. Sounds like we're up for some competition of some sort here. How about a 100-meter run? You want to try it, huh? I bet I can whip you. This
Where
could
would
get
this
interesting.
be?
Huh?
Where would this be?
We could do it right down here on the track sometime.
Okay.
All right. After the game? No. I've been drinking too much Pepsi during the commercial breaks here. I'm weighted down. Huh? All right, I think it's 2nd and 10 as we get back to the 4th quarter of action now. 2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line for the Maroons, and the Maroons fumbled the football on the snap, but I think they've recovered the football. Sams, I think, got back on top of the football. A loss of about a yard on the play. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Maroons. They're at their own 48. That's not the kind of play you want on your 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and as much as the Maroons want to run clock here and run the football, they got to pass here on 3rd and 11 and try to keep this drive going so they can eat some clock.
So you're a baseball player. You should have some speed, right? Infielder. Okay, here, 3rd and 11. Sam's rolling out right. Has time. Fires it over the middle. Up for grabs and knocked down. Incomplete. Jamie Queer was the intended receiver over the middle, and Nate Shepard was there to knock it down. Incomplete. It would have been enough for a first down if Queer had been able to pull that one in. Sam's at the last second tried to thread the needle.
Yeah, Shepard did a nice job coming up from free safeties. He followed Sam's rolling out to the left side, and he just knocked the ball away from Queer.
Yeah, we'll have to set this up sometime. I'll bring plenty of Ben Gay for my aching muscles, and or we could try some other athletic competition of some sort. I don't know. Here's the snap to Sams. Under some pressure, gets the boot away on the punt. Carlson getting underneath it. No, lets it bounce instead. And the Maroons will watch it roll right past Carlson. Down inside the 15 to about the 12 or 13-yard line. They down it, so Sams with a good punt that time. Got a nice roll on it. And Argenta will start pretty deep on this possession. Looks like about the 13-yard line, 1st and 10. And let's hope the defense can continue their good ways that they have showed so far tonight, especially on pass coverage as of late, picking off some passes.
Yeah, they can. They have an opportunity to stuff them here, keep them in their own end, and then make them punt and give our offense some good field position, and hopefully we can eat some clock if we get the ball back.
He's not counting the home crowd, but he is counting the yard lines. Mike Craig said that was a 41-yard punt with the roll. So from about the 13-yard line for the Bombers, 1st and 10. Shepard back in there, hands it off. First down run up the middle. The Maroons are there and corral it. No gain on the play. Ball squirts loose, but they blew it dead. So no gain on the play, it would appear from here. They're clear down to the south end. We're early in the 4th period of play. Clinton with 2 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. The one that gave them some cushion was the 45-yard touchdown pass from Sams to Schumacher, but Schumacher ran it most of the way. And then Bob Ijams, after a turnover, an interception by Josh Wilson, ran it in from 3 yards out for 2 scores in the 3rd period of play that had the Maroons up 21-6 early in the 4th. 2nd and 10 now. 3 wideouts as usual. I formation backfield. Back to pass Shepard. Quick pop out here for Nate Shepard. Had to hurry it, and it's incomplete. Well short of his intended receiver. And now it looks like our defensive line is starting to put some pressure on him.
Yeah, definitely. And also Jamie Queer had an attempt to make a diving play on that ball too. So now you got the secondary and the defensive line being very aggressive here and shutting down Argenta.
That pass was short of the intended receiver, Nate Shepard, because David Lemmel apparently got a piece of that football with his tall frame and those long arms, and it knocked it down, kept it from getting to the target.
And that's his 2nd and 3rd pass deflection.
3rd and 10 now for the Bombers. Man in motion is Woodhall, going from left to right. Shepard back to pass again. Drops deep in the pocket this time. Pops it out here in the flat. Interception. Randy Rich pulls away from the tackler. Gets down to the 5. Close to the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. He stepped in front of the intended receiver at the 15. then had wide open running till they got close to the goal line, but with good forward momentum, punched it in the end zone. Great anticipation and a terrific run and effort to get it in the end zone. The Maroons, their 4th interception of the ball game, and this one immediately turned into a touchdown by Randy Rich.
Yeah, Randy did a nice job, as you said, of anticipating the pass as he played off the wide receiver, making it look like the pass out to the flat was wide open. And then when Shepard stepped up and threw the pass, he was right in front of the wide receiver to make the catch, and he did a nice job just going down the sidelines for the score.
He was not going to be denied of getting that score. He wanted in that end zone, and he had the momentum going. He hit the corner of the end zone. Here's the kick by Carl Kortz on the extra point. It's wide, pulled it a little bit wide to the left-hand side. No good. He had plenty of power on that one as usual, but pulled it. So the score remains 27-6 in favor of the Maroons as we take time out here with 9 minutes and 57 seconds to go in quarter number 4.
With 9:57 to go in the ball.
To what appears to be a safe lead. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It's still pretty early, though, early in the 4th quarter play, but they've upped it now to 21 points, 27-6, with 3 scores here in the second half. And, again, a terrific play by Randy Rich for that touchdown.
Yeah, it was very good. Just a nice job of anticipation by Randy, and he did a good job. But I don't know, with what we've seen in the 4th quarter, I don't know if anything's safe.
Did you catch that? Hey, did you catch that? Oh, I don't know. I thought Brian maybe caught a football they were throwing here. All right, here's the return for Argenta from about their own 10 to the 20-yard line. Man trying to make a cutback, and there's Bob Igins again to make the tackle on Josh Cheatham this time, the return man. Cheatham tried to turn around and run away from Bob, but there was no place to go. He couldn't get away from Igins, who's done a great job on coverage on this kickoffs tonight.
And the way Bob's been hitting people, I'd want to
run away. You right?
Run away from him too. He's doing a nice job, and
I've got you thinking about that sprint against me.
No,
I know. Can I use a wheelchair for that? Do I need a wheelchair, maybe?
Only if it's not motorized.
Put a V8 in that thing. I'll blow you away. All right, from near the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Again, out of the eye. And they're not going to give up. Shepard wants to throw again. Pops it over the middle. He's got his man. Good strong tackle being by Schumacher immediately on Todd Carlson. But, you know, Shepard, he just steps back there, and he doesn't take any time at all. He knows where his receiver's supposed to be, and he put it right on the money. 15-yard gain right up the middle of the field. Carlson making the catch at the 35, but Schumacher made him pay for it. Put it to the turf hard, and Carlson has not gotten up yet.
And it was a nice play. It was a crossing pattern. He came about 15 yards over the middle, and the Shepard found him nicely. Nice touch as he got it right in there, right in front of Schumacher.
Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 9:30 on WHLW AM and FM radio, as we do all Saturday mornings during the football season, it's Coach's Corner with head coach Chuck Nagel. We'll talk over this ball game with Coach Nagel and look forward to next week's ball game at Eureka when we talk with him. 9:30 tomorrow morning on WHLW AM and FM radio, Coach's Corner with Clinton Maroon head coach Chuck Nagel. And we appreciate Chuck taking time out every Saturday morning out of his schedule to chat with us. We talk over via the telephone. I'm at work at the store, and he's at home, and we get a hookup between the two of us and the radio station, and we just go at it there and talk about the ball game, and it comes off very nicely, and very good of him to take time out of his schedule to talk with us. And I think usually the program is an interesting program, but that's easy for me to say since I'm the host. But
that's very interesting, I think.
It's good to hear the coach's comments about the previous ball game and what's coming up, and we'll do it again tomorrow morning. Another deflected pass by the Maroons, a heavy pass rush by the Maroons, and that's one of the youngsters getting a chance to get some playing time in there. Rob Smith came pouring through there and was in the face of Shepard and got a hand on the football just as Shepard tried to unload it.
Yeah, nice job by Rob as he just put the hand on that ball, didn't let the ball leave the hands of Shepard. And that's the 3rd or 4th pass deflection for the Maroons tonight.
Yeah, Maroons, I think, getting a few new guys in there, getting some chance to get some playing time now. During this 4th quarter of play, as the Maroons have opened up a 27-6 lead. We're down to about 9 minutes, just over 9 minutes to go. It's 2nd down and 10 now for Argenta. They had that completion. By the way, Carlson jogged off the field, appeared to be just shook up, but all right, and he'll probably be back in there shortly. They'll run it now on 2nd down and 10, but no running room, and Jeff Wilson comes up to make the tackle on the play right at the line of scrimmage on that attempted run. And 3rd down and 10 will be coming up after no gain for their running back, Corey Albano.
As you said, Wilson did a nice job just stepping in there, and he just stuck Albano for no gain.
Next week's ball game is at Eureka, And it's a 7:30 start, and it is Friday night. Again, it was on the schedule Thursday. It is Friday night, so we'll have the broadcast, of course, and also tape it for the replay. And hopefully if this one continues the way it's going, it'll mean a win. It will mean a chance at the playoffs for the Maroons next Friday. They got to continue to hold on to this lead here. It's 27-6 right now in favor of Clinton. 3rd and 10 for Argenta. They need a first down. Dropping back, throwing a short pass over the middle. Intercepted again by the Maroons. This time it's Jeff Wilson who gets the interception. And Bob Eigens was there also, and Wilson tumbled over his teammate as he made the pick intended in front of the intended receiver, who I believe that time was, I believe it was Corey Albino out of the backfield. And a great pick by Jeff Wilson. This time he goes down immediately at the 44-yard line, but the Maroons have another one. 5 interceptions in the ball game now.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Jeff, as he wasn't even the coverage man on that play, and he just stepped up in front of the coverage man and really made a nice leaping catch and was tripped up by the coverage man.
So at the 44-yard line, the offense goes to work again. And Rich is back in at the tailback. It'll be Jeff Wilson who gets the call. Bounces off a couple of men, still on his feet, still running hard. And they get good pursuit again, but Wilson did get about a 3-yard gain on the play. He probably ran about 15, 20 yards as he bounced off people, got knocked back, and then tried to move it upfield again, and he was running from left to right across the football field. But positive yardage of about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for the Maroons. They're at the 41 of Argenta.
But more importantly for the Maroons, it keeps the clock going. He did not get pushed out of bounds. And it sets up a situation where they could maybe run again on 2nd down, hopefully pick up a big gain, and make it a 3rd and short where they could run again and keep this clock going and keep the drive going.
Eigens is in a slot on the left-hand side now. As we said, Randy Rich in at the tailback spot. Oh, the handoff is fumbled by the Maroons, and who's going to get the football? Argenta appeared to have people in the vicinity near the 43-yard line, but I think the Maroons retained possession. Wilson got back on the football. He was the intended ball carrier on the play, but the handoff got away from him. He went back and got on top of the football. The Maroons lost a couple of yards, retained possession, and have a 2nd and a long 9 coming up. Or, excuse me, 3rd and a long 9 coming up.
Well, I think what happened there is Nate was hit as he tried to hand the ball off, and then it kind of shook the ball up in Wilson's arms, and he couldn't get a good grip on it.
I'm just looking over the offensive line. I think we've got our usual offensive lineman in there right now. I thought maybe we've made some changes there also. 3 wideouts to the right-hand side and another. I thought the ball got away for a moment, but Sams just kept it. I don't know if he bobbled it a little bit, but he ended up having to keep the football and went very little with it. Moved it forward to about the 42.5-yard line. 4th and at least 8 coming up for the Maroons. It appears they'll have to punt the football. So this time they don't take advantage of the turnover, but they will have a chance to hem Argenta in deep in their own territory. Argenta's going to put a bunch of people up on the line, though, and try to block this kick if they get the opportunity. They only have one deep man. It's Carlson standing at his own 10-yard line, and they're going to try to pour through and block the kick. Here's Sams. Gets it away just in nick of time. It was partially deflected, it appears, but it rolls downfield in favor of the Maroons and stops dead about the 20-yard line. It wasn't a very long kick, and I think they got a piece of it. Somebody went flying by there. It might have been Albano who got a piece of that football as Sams tried to punt it away near midfield.
And Nate did a nice job of getting that away rather quickly, and it was deflected, but it still went down to the Argenta 20, so that's where they'll start.
We're past the midway point of the 4th quarter of play, about 5:50 to play in the ball game. Clinton is leading 27-6 on 3 touchdowns in the 2nd half by the Maroons. Young quarterback, sophomore quarterback for Argenta, Micah Shepard, has completed 6 passes, but he's also been picked off 5 times by the Clinton Maroons now in this ball game. And he's going to try to throw some more, it would appear, although a handoff on 1st down. They had the passing formation, but they do run and get close to 1st down yardage on it. Albano out of the backfield was able to swing it out the left-hand side, run to the far sideline before Schumacher caught up with him near the 29, maybe almost the 30-yard line. And I think he's just short of a 1st down by about a yard, maybe 2. We'll call it 2nd down and 2 coming up for the Bombers.
Well, with the type of the offense Argenta runs, they don't get a lot of handoffs and running plays, but Albano has done a nice job, as well as Moore, when they do get to carry the ball.
Woodhall and Scott are wide to the right-hand side. Carlson, who we noted was injured earlier, back in there. They'll run it again. Albano trying the middle. Ross Wantland had a hold of him. He squirmed away, and it looks like he's got 1st down yardage as he gets it upfield before some of the other Maroons, including Jeff Wilson, able to make the tackle on the play. And again, I think the Maroons are substituting on that defensive line and maybe a few other positions too. And we'll try to give credit to some of those guys that are in there right now. Ryan Black in the ball game now. He's one of the seniors playing his final game here at home. And Josh Weiss is in there, 6'3", 190, a senior, seeing some playing time now. Let's see, who else do we have in there right now that we might not normally have? I think those are just the two right now on defense. I think I saw somebody else a little bit earlier. I think Nick Jones was in the ball game on the last series on defense. 1st and 10 for Argenta at about the 32-yard line. Quick pop to Woodhull out here in the right flat. Cuts it upfield. Has it to the 35. Gets around the corner. 40, 45-yard line. Still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds. At about the 47-yard line, he was run out of bounds by Bob Igems there, but another first down for the Bombers.
And it was a nice job as it was just a quick wide receiver screen pass, and the two wide receivers in front of Woodhull did a nice job of blocking, and he sprung that up along the right sideline.
Stops the clock with 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go in our fourth period of play. And Jones is back in there. Young man I just mentioned, a senior, 6'2", 185 at a line spot. The rest of the crew is pretty much the normal crew. Ryan Black is lined up at a defensive end spot. And the Wilsons into the linebackers want to charge through there. There's flags thrown with the snap of the football. And this play will be stopped for a penalty coming up against the Bombers, it would appear. A young football team, the Argenta-Oriana Bombers, and as we noted earlier, with as many sophomores that they have, seeing a lot of valuable playing time this year, and obviously their head coach, Ben Davis, is playing here at the tail end of the season, probably more for the future. I mean, he was obviously trying to win this ball game tonight, but playing a young sophomore quarterback and putting the senior Nate Shepard at a wide receiver spot, and putting Micah Shepard at quarterback. You know, he's preparing for next year and the year after that, and they're going to be much tougher in the future.
Yeah, Micah does have a good arm, and he is pretty accurate. It's just I don't think he's seen enough of the defense that's thrown against him, and that's why he has the interceptions. I don't think he's seeing all the guys covering his man.
He doesn't waste any time unloading the football, and that's got him into trouble a little bit. Here he pops it again. Catch is made by Carlson, but there is Randy Rich corralling him and throwing him to the ground. There was no gain on the play, or very little gain on the play, as he tackled him maybe a half-yard upfield from the original line of scrimmage. After the 5-yard penalty, it was a 1st and 15. It'll bring up a second down, and we'll still call it 15 back at about the 42-yard line of Argenta.
And it almost would have been wise for Carlson just to let that ball sail out of bounds, as he was met by Randy Rich right as he got the ball.
Brian Molitaris was seeing some playing time in there. He just came off to the sideline, but he was in for that play. So they're getting some of these seniors that don't normally get a lot of playing time a chance to play here on senior night in the fourth quarter of this football game. On 2nd and 15 now for the Bombers. Long snap call. Try to unload, still under pressure, rolling out, trying to get it away. Now unloads it down the sideline, and is that caught by the Maroons? Schumacher. It went through the hands of Argenta players, and unbelievably a 6th interception by the Maroons as Ryan Schumacher appears to have the pick near the 35-yard line. Will they let the Maroons keep the football or not? A little discussion out there. And has it been overruled or not? Looks like they're bringing the ball back.
It's been overruled. The line judge over on the side said it was an incomplete pass.
Well, forget the 6th interception, but boy, that was close. Schumacher was almost laying on the ground when he caught the football, and somehow that one skated through about at least 3 other pairs of hands on both football teams in front of him, and he looked like he had it from way back here. We'll watch it in slow motion time after time, won't we, Phil, when we when we put this tape together. All right, that'll bring up 3rd down and 15 now. Argenta still with the football. And Micah had to be saying to himself, oh, no, not again. But this time he still has the football. Rolling out right, gets away, wants to throw it, unloads it over the middle of the field for Shepard, and Shepard makes the catch and has enough for a first down about the 37-yard line as Nate Shepard pulls that one in from Micah Shepard. Good throw and a good safe catch by Shepard, tumbling to the turf at the 38-yard line as he made the catch.
And it was a good pattern by Shepard as he ran across the field with Micah Shepard across. And it looks much like the Maroons play down on their goal line plays where they run that pattern with Nate and Ryan coming across the field. That's what that pattern looked like for Argenta.
This time coming to the right-hand side of the field. The Maroons run that to the left a lot. But, yeah, it's a very similar type of play. Both guys coming across the same way, and a good throw and catch. At the 38 of the Maroons for Argenta. They'll try the run on the first down play. Good stutter step move, got a yard or two, but then the Maroons make the play. And a very short gain that time for Albino as Jeff Wilson makes the tackle on the play. A gain of maybe a yard and a half or so to the 36-yard line.
Once again, Jeff Wilson just filling those holes. He's done a nice job, and he's got multiple solo tackles tonight.
2nd and at least 8 coming up at the 36-yard line for the Bombers They're in Maroon territory, but we're down to 2:15 to go in the ball game, and Clinton leads 27-6. Defensively, the Maroons have played well and have made the key interceptions in this ball game. They help the offense out, setting up touchdowns. Here's a quick pass to Woodhull, though. He's got the catch, makes a good run, first down, and goes out of bounds inside the 25, maybe near the 24-yard line, and it appears Argenta has another first down. Just a quick pass out here in the left flat to the wide receiver, and then he takes off and runs with it and gets an additional 10, 12 yards or so to get the first down.
There's a wide receiver screen, and the Bombers had a nice job of blocking once again from the other wide receivers, and that's what sprung Shepard for the 12-yard gain.
24-yard line of the Maroons. First down and 10 for Argenta. Again, 3 wideouts. Carlson, the one to the left-hand side, then 2 others, Woodhull and Scott is the other. I don't think he's touched the football yet. Scott wide to the right-hand side. From the I formation, fumble on the snap. Quarterback trying to get it back, and did Shepard get back on top of it? It appears he did. So the Maroons had a man trying to get that football, but unable to get to it quite in time. For the Maroons, and Argenta has the football back at the 25-yard line. I think, I was just trying to double-check uniforms number. I think James Trimble is in there now and was the man that was closest to it for the Maroons. And I want to double-check that. Is Trimble in there at the linebacker spot? Well, we'll double-check it in a moment when we get a better look at his number. Second down and about 10 and a half to go for a first down for Argenta. Here's another quick pop. Woodhull has it. Bringing up field. Rich comes up. Got a hand on him. Slowed him down enough that Black was there to make the tackle, and others for the Maroons. Queer in the vicinity, and Jeff Wilson. A gain to the 22-yard line. A pickup of about 3 yards on the play. And timeout taken by Argenta. Let's take timeout also. We're down to 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. Back to action now. Argenta has a third down and about 8 at the 22-yard line. Shepard under center. Dropping back. He's going to roll out left. Under some pressure. Gets away. Nate Shepard throwing on the third down play. It's almost intercepted by Schumacher. Schumacher had a shot at the 5-yard line, but it drops incomplete. And that, again, could have been the 6th interception of the ball game. It brings up fourth down now for Argenta.
Scrambling left. And he was pressured by Dave Lummel coming across, and he had to get rid of that ball in a hurry.
Well, the Bombers have to go for it here. Just over a minute to go in the ball game. They're at the 22-yard line, and obviously they want to try to get another score on the board. They've scored once in the ball game back in the second quarter of play on a 5-yard run by Andy Moore after an interception got them down to the 9. Other than that, the Maroons defense has kept them pretty far away from that goal line. Fourth down and 8. And a long call here. Now Shepard back to pass. Under some pressure. Pops it over the middle. Diving try, but Woodhull couldn't make the catch at the 10. It's incomplete, and the Maroons will take over. And the defense does the job again. They can get the interception this time, but I think 5's enough for tonight. And a couple of them leading either immediately to a touchdown or setting up touchdowns. Been a good night for those guys covering against a lot of passes in this ball game tonight by Argenta.
Yeah, let's not be greedy. Five's a good amount, and they have got 21 points off those turnovers, so they've taken advantage of them.
Clinton will take a timeout. All right, here's the situation now for the Maroons. They have 1 minute and 3 seconds to run off the clock in this ball game. They'll have their 5th victory of the year. It'll be another conference victory for the Maroons. But that overall record's the important part. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Maroons with a 6-3 record are not absolutely a lock for the playoffs. But it would appear with the type of schedule that we have played, with Tolona Unity having the great success they've had this year, I believe their only loss this year has been to us. They've had a great season. Let's see, who else? Of course, St. Teresa, Bloomington Central Catholic with their fine record, Sullivan with their fine record, Eureka's having a good year. The total points that the Maroons will receive when they figure up all the 6-3 teams should put them into the playoffs. But they have to be 6-3. So it's going to boil down to next week's ball game at Argenta. We've got to win at Argenta. Next week's ball game at Eureka, we've got to win at Eureka to make the playoffs. It's simple as that now.
Yeah, since the playoffs have started, you need 6 wins and 36 points, and I think I figured it out. I think the Maroons would have that if they do defeat Eureka. But as you said, they have to go to Eureka and actually beat them before we can make all this speculation about the playoffs. And I'm sure the coaching staff will get them ready and prepared, and it'll be a good game.
Eureka's a 5-2 team on the season. They won last week over a team that had only won one ball game this year, Tremont, by just 2 points, so 15-13. You were talking about that, and I know, looking at that score, that had your feeling much better about playing at Eureka. The Maroons have manhandled Eureka the last 2 years, though, and they are going to be ready for the Maroons. It was, I think, 65-0 2 years ago when we played up there. And the ball game here at home, the final game of the regular season this past year, I don't have the final score in front of me. My recollection is something like in the vicinity of, what was it, 32-3 or something along those lines. Maroons with a couple running plays to run out the clock here. We're down inside 30 seconds to go in the ball game. Wilson was the ball carrier on the first one. And I believe that's Trimmel in there, the ball carrier on that one. Got maybe a yard. 3rd down and 8. Maroons are at the 25-yard line. So I guess my point is,
They'll be up for us.
they'll be ready for us, and they're, of course, also trying to get in the playoffs. I don't know who they're playing this weekend or what their situation. They could be 5-3, you know, going into the ball game and needing a win also, depending upon what they did this week. The clock has run out. The Maroons have won this homecoming football game. We'll come back and recap it for you in just a moment. The final score, the Clinton Maroons 27, Argenta Oriana 6.